Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't even know where to begin. If I allow myself to dream, will it be as good as it seems? Pull me out of this place in the middle, in the middle. Nothing more to embrace in the middle, in the middle. If I try to climb up the wall, everyone can see when I fall. Take me up into the mountains, send me up into the wild. Misery is still a path I would choose if the alternatives are worse. I guess it's time to find a friend, one who will stick by to the end. Going out of my mind in the middle, in the middle. Wasting all of my time in the middle, in the middle. I take the vibe and spit it out, unaware of what it's about.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Good to see y'all. I'm so glad you are here with me this Friday. Let me shout y'all out. Let's see, there's JoJo's Crime Lines and Mysteries, Cara, Cracker Jacks, Blue Jay, Dandy, Anna, Edith, Ava, Curious Christine, Native Girl, Soups, Hannah UK, good to see you. Good to see you. Monica, good to see you. Jennifer, good to see you. Kelly, good to see you. I saw that you were getting into a hot car. That sucks. Snarky, good to see you. I'm so glad y'all are here. Tom, good to see you. Nightbot, good to see you. Jenny Jane, good to see you. Miss Scorpio and Cindy's from sunny South Florida. Good to see y'all. I'm glad y'all are here. All right. Thank y'all for being here today. We've got quite a few things to discover. I'm going before I miss real good info. Hello. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you. All right. So I've got quite a few documents, but I did see a couple of things. We can start off with a few videos on the Austin Drummond thing, on the Austin Drummond quadruple homicide. Let's write this. All right. So I did see a few videos that I found real interesting. So we can talk about those before we go over the documents. And then I've got another one in the Satan Disciples right here. And we've got an update about Jack and Lilly to talk about today. Quite a few things. My goodness. All right. So, where is Lord? I might have to do it this way. Well, where did it go? I just had one. This is what officials are saying real quick about drugs in West Tennessee. Let me get this going for y'all. I just thought it might be kind of important to talk about how bad drugs are back there while I find the other video real quick.
Drug use continues to impact families in West Tennessee. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Nyana Whitelaw takes a closer look at how the Drug Task Force is cracking down and what you should look out for.
According to the U.S. Department of State, America is facing a deadly drug crisis. In 2024, there was an estimated 80,391 drug overdose deaths. That's according to the CDC. We spoke with Johnny Carter, director of the West Tennessee Drug Task Force, who tells us some of the issues they face.
Drug use in West Tennessee is on the rise somewhat. We're having a lot of issues with the adulteration of drugs, where fentanyl, is being mixed with other drugs, xylazine, for example. It's being pressed into pills.
Carter says
that's really scary because fentanyl, you can't control how much is in there. So it's an overall very scary situation. Hey, Lori Ann, good to see you. Happy Friday. Sandy, good to see you. Wolfpack, good to see you. Cindy said, thank you for your insight. Way overdue to lay these babies to rest and justice. I know. I saw some other channels talking about Drummond, and it made me realize what a great job. Oh, thank you, Curious Christine. That was so sweet of you. I appreciate that. Hey, smartass. Good to see you. The judge put in not guilty on his behalf because he hadn't appointed counsel yet. Standard procedure. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that info.
in some instances, these drugs are being misrepresented as oxycodone, an opioid pain reliever, which can pose a serious health risk.
Fentanyl is one of those things that we worry the most about because it's usually, we always tell folks it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you're taking fentanyl on a regular basis, it's not a matter of if you're going to overdose, it's a matter of when you're going to overdose.
Task force officers are working around the clock to keep illegal drugs off the streets. Carter says they see a lot of marijuana, methamphetamine, fentanyl, crack cocaine, and even mushrooms.
There's this big debate about.
He's about to talk about the mushroom debate. I think that marijuana should be made legal I mean, the United States government's making a ton of money off of it. I don't think marijuana is bad. And honestly, I don't think mushrooms are bad. If you are giving them in a way that we can make sure they're not super potent and you're using them to help fight depression, I think that basically microdosing, I think that those two things can be good. But those two things come from the earth. Those two things are made by God. It's not made by man. Um, I think like I don't have a problem with those two, and we wouldn't have such an epidemic about it if it was made legal, but everything else is made by man, even cocaine, because yes, cocaine comes from the coca plant, but you have to put it through a whole entire process where you soak it in diesel fuel and submerge it and press it with concrete. It's insane what they do. I don't count that one because there's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do to get it into the cocaine form, and then you have to do even more to get it crack, which not a lot more, but those things are horrible. The pharmaceuticals, opium. I mean, I had issues with opiates, so I'm very careful about that. If I'm going to be honest about it, opium also has to be like maybe in its natural form it would be okay. But I think you have to go through a whole entire process through the poppy plant to make opium. So that would probably be about the same as cocaine to me. But if there's people in prison still for marijuana, and it's like, stop it. Just make it legal, in my opinion. Hey Holly, we grow our own mushrooms. Holly, I have tried, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have tried to grow mushrooms like 4 times. I forget where you can get the spores from, but I've tried it in a controlled environment and I've not ever been able to make it work. I've grown mushrooms, but not magic mushrooms. So I'm still learning that, but I would love to know how to do that. Darla, good to see you. I think it's difficult to test Mary Jane as compared to alcohol. I think alcohol is another man-made drug, and I mean, that one's a hard one too because a lot of people enjoy to drink alcohol. It's a man-made product, so maybe not. I don't know. I have an issue with that one too. Really, I can't smoke. I get really paranoid. We tried it again. Yeah. See, that's my problem. I always get the bad mold. Anything can be abused. I mean, look at people do with cough syrup. I remember in high school they called it robo-tripping. Yeah, I've heard of that. I do too. I have self-medicated with natural products for 30 years. I wouldn't be alive without it. Only natural for me. Right. It's natural. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fentanyl. I'm lucky to be here. All right.
Debate about marijuana, but the sale of marijuana also invites gang violence and other violence crimes with it, as does any of the other drugs.
So make it legal.
And it's not just drugs. Any type of illegal business invites violence.
As officers work to keep the community safe, they encourage residents to get involved and report any suspicious activity. In West Tennessee, Nyana Whitelaw, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Carter urges residents to be cautious and to refrain from buying any pills off the street. If you spot anything suspicious, dial 911 or contact your local law enforcement agency.
Okay. So that was our...
Tonight we bring you an update on the arraignment of Austin Drummond.
Our video about drug abuse in West Tennessee, sorry. And it all has to do with the Austin Drummond case. And so I've got a few videos to discuss with you guys about that. Our Brandon video, I wanted to talk about the arraignment of Brandon Powell. We're going to watch this Law and Crime little episode real quick, but we're going to talk about the arraignment of Brandon Powell because it appears that Austin Drummond might have snitched. I haven't watched all of it, but I watched somebody's take on it, and it looked like they said basically Austin snitched on Brandon, but Austin wasn't in custody when Brandon was taken into custody. But I'm going to pull up that article and we're going to talk about it. Right now, let's see what Law and Crime has to say about Austin's arraignment, which we watched yesterday.
On social media showing...
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
He's already proven that he does stuff like this. So don't give him an opportunity to take somebody else's family.
The family of one of Austin Drummond's alleged victims emotional outside the courthouse as the quadruple murder suspect sat shackled, surrounded by deputies. He is now expected to face the full weight of the criminal justice system.
Your Honor, at this time, the state intends to seek the death penalty.
We'll break down where the case of the man who triggered a manhunt that put Tennessee on edge goes from here, including his claim in court that he owned a business that entertained children. We're on the
Okay, so it's going to talk about the business. Remember, when we watched the arraignment, he said that he ran a business. He made about $5,000 a month, and he had just started the business. So all the money that he made went right back into the business. And then he said he didn't own a house. He owned a car, but it had been seized. Interesting. So they must have been able to pick up the audio on what kind of business he owned.
case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Okay. Hold on. Just a minute.
A moment that many in Tennessee had been waiting for since last week
Hey,
to see
Chucka.
Austin Drummond inside the walls of a jail, not going anywhere. We learned some interesting things about Drummond in court today, one shedding light on how his criminal case could play out. It was clear as he sat in a room surrounded by 4 deputies at the Lake County, Tennessee jail during a hearing that his day-to-day is going to be very different moving forward compared to what his day-to-day seemed to be like during his decade in prison. He was just released at the end of last year.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about that. I did pull up the other article, and we're going to read this because it all goes back to this with Brandon, and that's what he was being arraigned for, was this stuff right here. But it goes back to that, and it has to do with Austin Drummond, which, you know, we kind of knew it did by proxy, but I think it does, like, one-on-one, you know what I mean? Like, I think he was the driver from what I understand. He is fat from all those pizza cartons from prison. Hey, Stoic, good to see you. In my opinion, I hope not, but it seems like that because they said they were putting Austin back at the same jail, the Lake County jail, which made me very concerned. I'm one of the paranoid, but yeah, I think there should be some standards. But I mean, if we can make it all natural and not where it has these additives like Cara was saying with the Delta 9 and things like that, it would be better. And the mushrooms, if you were able to get a prescription for it and microdose it, I think it could be good. Now, if somebody wanted to save all their microdosing and save up and like actually trip, you know, that's on them. But I think that it could be regulated and it could be legal to help with depression a lot better than what is that stuff they're using? Ketamine. I don't like that. I think mushrooms would be better.
This video that Drummond posted on his Facebook page in 2023 during his stint in prison. He was serving time on an aggravated robbery conviction for holding up a convenience store in 2013. Now, frankly, you look at that video, it's more of a college dorm room than it is a prison cell. Not only did he post that video, he posted several pictures on social media showing what life for him was like in prison, playing video games, drinking alcohol, having cell phones, it appears. Law enforcement did hint that this time around things would be more strict on Austin Drummond. Obviously, the crimes.
I freaking hope so because like we've been saying, it looked more like a dorm room than a jail cell. Let's invite this guy into our home for our 6-year-old birthday with large reptile. Is that what the job is about? His business? Oh my God, stop it. No. Germany's legalized it last year and it's good. Bruce, good to see you. That's awesome. Authorities have said those days are over, but then they put him right back in Lake County. So is it really?
That Drummond is facing are far more serious, accused of killing 4 family members and leaving their bodies in a wooded area in a rural county in Tennessee. They were family members of his girlfriend. The motive for him to shoot them and flee with their baby is still not known. But that baby is going to grow up without its mom or dad, both allegedly killed by the man who sat in the chair listening to the judge in Lake County this morning. Outside the courthouse, the family of Matthew Wilson, the father of that abandoned child, spoke about why it was important for them to be there and for Austin Drummond not to receive bond.
Why let him out? He's already out. So what's the point of letting him back out? Yeah. He's already proven that he does stuff like this. So don't give him the opportunity to take somebody else's family.
Their whole family.
Because that's what I think people understand. He took them all. It's not just the loss of our son.
I know.
It's the loss of our daughter-in-law, of Braden, of everybody, of Courtney. It's a whole family gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So we're going to be here every chance we get. We're going to be right here for our son because he cannot be here. They love their daughter.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be here.
Yes, we'll be here.
How would you like the community to live?
God, you could tell she's so shook up about it. And who wouldn't be? I mean, like she said, it's not just one person. He took out an entire family, the generations, grandma, daughter, uncle, and dad. I think they're the ones that have the baby because they said our son, which I'm going to assume is Matthew. So I think they have Wesleyan right now, the 7-month-old little girl. Thank God. But it's excuse me. It's hard to hear them speak. I can't imagine their pain. Hey, Hell on Hills. I thought he said renting bouncy houses for his business. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I couldn't understand what he said was his business in the original audio. So they're going to talk about it. Yes.
He was a good father.
He was a good boy.
He was a good brother. He was a damn good son.
Oh.
And they loved their baby.
Absolutely.
They loved their baby. The whole family loved each other. That's the thing that people were forgetting.
Yeah.
We all loved each other. And nobody... It's just a really bad situation. We want everybody to remember Matthew. Everybody knows Matthew. Matthew grew up right there on that hill, running those streets in our county.
Yeah.
Never been in no trouble, no nothing. And they need to keep that in mind and stop focusing so much on the morbid aspect of it. Because Matthew has siblings that are young that can Google all this. And
yeah. Internet's forever.
Exactly. And people need to understand that there's children, there's minors involved in this. And that as a family, we're just broken. Right?
Yes.
I just don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
So
who's caring for the little girl right now? She's in protective custody.
Today in court, Drummond had to sit there as the judge read off the charges that he is.
So I'm glad that they were able to speak. And they seem guarded as they should be and upset and hurt. And I mean, again, he knew them. He was part of the family to an extent, which is really sad.
Facing, including reading off the names of his alleged victims.
Mr. Drummond, we are here this morning to arraign you on these charges. It's my responsibility to notify you of them and what you were charged with. First charge this morning that you have before the court is one count of first-degree murder. It's alleged that on 29th of July, Mr. Braden Williams was located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville in Lake County, Tennessee. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that Mr. Drummond did with premeditation, knowingly and intentionally kill Mr. Braden Keith Williams with the use of a firearm. It's alleged he did commit this offense also while being in possession of a firearm after being convicted of a felony, being aggravated robbery in Madison County, Tennessee. He has one count, therefore, of first-degree murder and unlawful possession of a firearm. Second charge you have, sir, is first-degree murder and one other count of unlawful possession of a firearm. It's alleged during the course of investigation that a James Wilson was located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds in Lake County, Tennessee on Carrington Road. It was determined that you with premeditation knowingly and intentionally killed Mr. Wilson with the use of a firearm. It's also alleged, based on the same facts or circumstances, that you are a convicted felon out of Madison County. In addition to that, sir, you also have one count of first-degree murder and unlawful possession of a weapon. It's alleged that during the course of investigation, officers determined that Mr. Drummond, with premeditation, knowingly and intentionally killed Miss Adriana Williams in Lake County, Tennessee, on Carrington Road. She was discovered from an apparent gunshot wound, deceased. In addition to that, he also is a convicted felon out of Madison County, Tennessee.
Well, it depends. It don't sound like they're going to have him in protective custody, but Brandon's arraignment was before Austin was. So Brandon got arrested before Austin was caught. Austin was caught the next day. So if Austin snitched on Brandon, I'm wondering when it happened, unless it happened right when he got in custody. Or if the police already knew that he was driving and he didn't snitch. I don't know. We're gonna find out hopefully a little bit more, and maybe be able to put it together throughout the live today. The judge entered a plea of not guilty for him because he did not have counsel yet, and so until he gets counsel, he has pled not guilty. What's going to happen after that, I don't know. Watched the mother's reaction about 50 times all over News Channel, and that lady is genuine. It is really heartbreaking. I agree, Monica. Yeah, so he was in the Department of Corrections where he had it made like he was in a college dorm room, but they sent him, and that was in Lake County, I do believe. Yeah, Lake County. It was the Department of Corrections is in Lake County, and they sent him right back to Lake County Jail. If he doesn't go away for the rest of his life or get the death penalty after this, there is no justice system anymore. I agree, but he'll probably cop out with a plea, like Stephen and Brian Koberger. I don't know, though, Bruce Banner. I don't know if he goes to general population. I mean, he knows so many people there and runs shit. I don't know.
You also, sir, have one count of first-degree murder and additional unlawful possession of a weapon. It's alleged during the course of the investigation, officers determined that you did with premeditation knowingly, intentionally kill Miss Courtney Rose with the use of a firearm. She was discovered deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Lake County, Tennessee. It's alleged, in addition to that, sir, as previously stated, you are a convicted felon allegedly from the county of Madison in Tennessee.
The judge also mentioned the charges related to the abandoned baby.
In addition to that, finally, he has one count of aggravated kidnapping and a possession of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony. It's alleged that all of the victims in the case that previously were mentioned were located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on the same date. A minor child with the date of birth 12/12/2024 with the initials WW was discovered left in the front of a residence in Dearrah County, Tennessee. States that Mr. Drummond committed the offense of aggravated kidnapping by false imprisonment, which was committed to facilitate the commission of a felony or flight. It's alleged he committed this offense also possessing a firearm during the commission of said dangerous felony. When he possessed a firearm, he therefore has those counts. General Goodman, is the state moving forward with felony charges in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Mr. Drummond, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you at this time on your behalf, being that you do not have counsel appointed or retained to represent you. Are you going to be able to hire an attorney, sir, to represent you, or will you need me to ask you questions about your finances to appoint you an attorney?
Okay. Hell on Hill said he was in Supermax prison, not Lake County Jail, where he is now, and that's true. But the Supermax facility prison that he was in, the Tennessee Department of Corrections facility, is also in Lake County. So yes, while they are two different facilities, they are both located in Lake County. Where he had it made like a dorm room was Northwest Correctional Facility, and that's also where Brandon Powell was using the drones to try to deliver all this marijuana and the Nintendo and the dirty 30s and the cell phones and all of that. That was all going to Northwest Correctional Facility, which is also located in Lake County. And so what's upsetting is that he's going back to the same county that he had it made like a daggum king in. Now, Lake County Jail is different than the Lake County, Tennessee Department of Corrections facility. Yeah, but it's still, I don't trust it either way, honestly. Kimmy C123 and Loa's mom, good to see y'all. Yep, the Switch and the Roku TV and the vodka and the headphone, all the things. It was disgusting. Hey, Max, good to see you. There's a burger chain in Ireland called Super Max. Interesting. I'd love to try that. I want to go to Ireland so daggum bad. Cracker Jacks, I'm going to get up with you and come hang out at your house if I ever do. Sounds a little corrupt to me to send him in the same to the same location. Right. I would think they would send him to a different facility. And when we got the mugshots, like on Vine, it said he was in Obion or Obion County. But then when we saw him arraigned, they talk about him being in Lake County, which was just a bit off-putting.
I'm not going to be able to buy it.
Okay.
The judge then asked Drummond about his financial situation, and what we didn't expect is that Drummond says he has a LLC for his business that entertains children with reptiles.
Mr. Drummond, prior to being taken in on these charges, sir, were you working anywhere?
I have a business, incredible run business, kids parties, reptile shows, decorations, something like that.
So you were self-employed, is that correct?
Okay, so it is the reptile show. Hell on Hill said he will be going to a federal prison, not a state prison where he was, but I think some charges have been made since the evidence of contraband has been exposed. Probably. I remember he had the methamphetamine charge from when he was in prison and then the attempted homicide, but I mean, but damn it, he posted it on Facebook and it's been there. I'm going to pull that up while we continue watching this, but Lord have mercy, it's been there forever. Like, I mean, nobody, like, it's just hanging out here, all of these photos on his Facebook, and the Department of Corrections never thought, like, to look at it. Like, we're the ones who cracked this open on the internet. It's been there since November 18th of 2023 at 9:46 a.m. Like, damn, it's been up there for 2 years. And we're the ones that brought it to the police's attention so he could get more charges. That's concerning as well. So it is a reptile business. Hey, Amy. Hence money laundering, yeah. Oh, that's a good one, Max. Just back after a week there. Oh, man. That's awesome. It is disturbing, isn't it? And 2 phones. The reptile show, yeah. Wait, what? These things are nuts. Something is way, way off. I agree. Nice to see you. Wait, what?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what I'm going to ask you, sir. Obviously, that may vary depending on how much business you generate monthly. If you could estimate for me what your monthly income would be from that business.
It varied, but it was around $4,000 to $6,000 a month.
Okay.
This is a man who allegedly executed 4 people, and yet he said he was going to entertain children for a living, which we just find wild. The judge decided, since Drummond apparently has no money or not a lot of money, he will get a court-appointed attorney. The state was then asked about bond conditions.
Sorry, I was muted. Hey, M-Face, good to see you. We were going over the arraignment that Austin did yesterday, and we found out that the business he owned was called, I believe, the Reptile Show, and he would show reptiles to children and help set up at birthday parties and things, which is disturbing to know that he was around children. Maybe that's what made him have the soft spot for little Westland and put her in the yard and holler at people and get them to see that he was putting the baby there so the baby could be helped and saved. A lot of times you'll wear the stripes usually means that you're convicted of a felony, and then like the orange usually means misdemeanor. That's what it's meant every time I went. I was always in orange, but the people who were in stripes had felony charges. But I don't know. It's different in different places, so it kind of depends on the facility, right? Yeah, if they would just make it to where COs like had a work phone and they couldn't have their own phones at work, like they had to be locked up and put up and there was some kind of scrambler, I think that that would help out a lot. This is normal to them in that prison. Maybe they all live like this. A town moneymaker. Did you see the pool house he was in? I did. I did.
General, does this say wish to be heard on bond at this time?
You're welcome.
Your Honor, at this time, the state intends to seek the death penalty. This is a capital case. We're asking that he be held without bond. In addition to that, he has a bond out of circuit court. We have filed motions for both those bonds that will be heard later in the month of August in circuit court.
The judge denied Drummond bond. The suspect was out on bond at the time he committed the alleged murders because he is also currently facing attempted murder charges. That was related to an incident that happened in prison before he was released in September of last year. But the bond in that case has now been revoked. The prosecutor also asked the judge for there to be restraining orders in place. So in any case Drummond actually would get out of jail, he wouldn't be allowed to be near the families of his alleged victims. Even though Drummond appeared somewhat soft-spoken in court today, it's important to see what he looked like when he was on the run for 7 days. This is the surveillance video that police in Jackson, Tennessee released showing him trying to get into a church through the night, but the door was locked. He was dressed in camo and he had a rifle with a drum-shaped high-capacity magazine. It makes it somewhat surprising that he was taken into custody seemingly without incident. Police said that he didn't have a gun on him at the time of his arrest. And even though the manhunt for Austin Drummond stretched across state lines, it turns out that Drummond was not that far from where he spent much of his life in Jackson, Tennessee, which is...
So he did not have the firearm on him. They just said he didn't have a gun on him at the time of the arrest. I'll back it up a little bit, but in these videos, we saw the gun with the drum round.
The families of his alleged victims.
Right
Even
there.
though Drummond appeared somewhat soft-spoken in court today, it's important to see what he looked like when he was on the run for 7 days. This is the surveillance video that police in Jackson, Tennessee released showing him.
And there he waves at somebody. Somebody put out a video saying, was it Caitlin? We think it was, what's her name? Dearrah, the alleged other CO that got arrested for helping him, because this vehicle back here looks like a Jeep. And allegedly when she was arrested, they show her keys and she has a Jeep key. But he definitely in this video waves at somebody. Hold on. Watch right when they go to it. Look at his hand. See? He's waving at somebody, and right over there, there's a vehicle. I think it was Dearrah. I've heard that. And Law and Crime said it yesterday that she's allegedly pregnant with his son, as a matter of fact. You think he hid the firearm when he knew they were onto him? Maybe if it's unregistered and under the radar, maybe. But where did he put it? I thought he was going to try to go out in a blaze of glory.
To get into a church through the night, but the door was locked. He was dressed in camo and he had a rifle with a drum-shaped high-capacity magazine. It makes it somewhat surprising that he was taken into custody seemingly without incident. Police said that he didn't have a gun on him at the time of his arrest. And even though the manhunt for Austin Drummond stretched across state lines, it turns out that Drummond was not that far from where he spent much of his life in Jackson, Tennessee, which is northeast of Memphis. He was allegedly hiding out in an 800 square foot luxury pool house. That's according to Memphis TV station Fox 13, which posted this picture. Eventually, Drummond was spotted by crews working on a home nearby. We spoke to the man who called 911. His name is Ricardo Contreras, and he said,
and we watched part of this, but I thought it might be interesting to see the whole interview from Ricardo, because that's our hero right there. I hope he gets the reward money.
He and his team were working on a house, and they just found it odd that someone would be walking through the woods with a manhunt going on. At what point did you know that it was Austin Drummond?
Well, I don't know how to explain, but I mean, it was like I had the feeling from the beginning that it was him because, yesterday I was in that area, and when I came out from that subdivision, I saw a police with a light, and when I came out to the street, they got already blocked all the intersection in the streets.
MFA said, so does anyone know what part the others played in this? I haven't heard much. I do have the documents on the other people in this case, and all of Austin's charges going back allegedly to where he was 12 that I'm going to look at with you guys. So far, aiding and abetting, but I think the documents that I have are going to give us more information. I meant changes at the prison. They are probably going to have daily shakedowns now. I hope they do. Yeah, they said that the reward's gonna be split between at least 2 people. I think Ricardo should get it, honestly, but, you know.
So, and they've been working really hard all day yesterday, and I think part of the night, and they can't get him. So I knew it was him because you know, who else can be? But at some point, I was like, oh no. I mean, I just make a big thing because police move really fast. And it was a helicopter, police officer everywhere, SWAT team, FBI, TVI. Everybody got there in a second. So, but something told me like it's him, and it was.
In another shocking part of our interview with Ricardo Contreras, he said that his wife actually went to elementary school with Austin Drummond.
I was the first on the family that saw the news, and I talked to her like, look at this. This has just happened close to Jackson, and she was like, she was in shock because she said, I went to school with him, like elementary school. He went to St. Mary's Catholic Church for a few years. And that's what I know because my wife told me that. And I appeared like he was a good guy, you know, but he took a wrong decision on his life, probably.
At the time,
Wow, how strange. His wife went to elementary school with Austin. That's crazy.
of Drummond's arrest, there was a reward of more than $37,000 for information that would help in the case. Police say that it will likely be split up between multiple people who helped in the search. In another surprising part of this court hearing, as it was wrapping up this morning, Austin Drummond piped in and asked the judge this question. Listen.
Mr. Drummond, I'm going to continue your case to August the 14th, sir, at 9 a.m. Mr. Huffman will be in contact with you prior to that to go over your case, and he will be able to hopefully answer any questions that he has for you, sir, okay? Or that you have for him. I apologize. We will see you back here then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is now the time for me to ask her to look into the trial, or how's that?
Well, now that I've appointed you counsel, any motions that will be filed will go through your attorney, sir.
I didn't understand what he asked, and I'm sure they're going to tell us, but I'm going to try to back it up a little bit and see if we can figure that out, because I didn't understand it the first time. I'm not understanding it this time either.
And he will be able to hopefully answer any questions that he has for you, sir, okay? Or that you have for him. I apologize. We will see you back here then, okay?
Hey, Vera.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is now the time for me to ask her to look into the trial, or how's that?
Well, now that I've appointed you counsel.
He said, I was just wondering if now is the time for me to ask about, and I can't understand what he says, and he says, or how does that work?
Any motions that will be filed will go through your attorney, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, folks. Case is continued to August 14th at 9 o'clock.
It's unclear what that could mean for this case going forward and what it means about what Austin Drummond's defense could look like. Drummond's case isn't the only criminal proceeding related to the quadruple murder that he's accused of committing. There are...
Okay, well, why didn't you tell me what the hell he asked? I'm going to put up captions and try again. I thought they would go in on it a little bit more. Okay. Let me try to get it.
Here then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Can I ask
sir.
a question?
As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is that another time I need to ask her for continued trial or how's that?
Well, now that I've appointed you counsel,
Something dues? Lawyer's fees or dues? I'm slowing it down, y'all. I want to know what he asked.
your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is that another time I need to ask her for continued trial or
I swear, I can't tell what he says. I think he says lawyer dues, some kind of dues. Are y'all getting it? Dearrah's not pregnant. Allegedly, Caitlin, his girlfriend, is pregnant, 4 months pregnant with his son. A speedy trial? Is that what you heard? Thank you, Snowflake. Let's take it back. That could be it.
Your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is that another time I need to ask her for continued trial or
I don't think it's speedy trial. I'm going to do it one more time because it doesn't sound like they go in on it. And I'm going to mute. Y'all see what y'all think.
As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is that another time I need to ask her for continued trial or how's that?
Well, now that I've appointed you counsel,
Penance dues or lawyer dues? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm angry because I thought they would reiterate on what question he asked. And they're just going along like everybody caught that and understood it completely, which is aggravating. All right, I put it back on normal speed.
so any motions that will be filed will go through your attorney, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So y'all are hearing speedy trial. Okay, well maybe he is saying speedy trial. Okay. Interesting. If he is saying speedy trial. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right, folks. Case is continued to August 14th at 9 o'clock.
It's unclear what that could mean for this case going forward and what it means about what Austin Drummond's defense could look like. Drummond's case isn't the only criminal proceeding related to the quadruple murder that he's accused of committing. There are 4 people right now facing charges for alleged.
They said proceeding. It could have been speedy proceeding, which means speedy trial. So a lot of you guys think that he's saying speedy trial. Okay, so maybe I just didn't hear it correctly. What could that mean? Speedy trial. Oh, I bet it's because he doesn't want to be in jail that long. He wants to go on ahead and go do his time at the Department of Corrections. Like a speedy trial is going to mean that you're not sitting in that jail very long. And, you know, you would go ahead and go to trial, have your day in court, and then go be on your way to Department of Corrections. Maybe that's why he asked about a speedy trial, so he could get on to the Department of Corrections. Speedy trial, yeah, something like that. Which, if he said speedy trial, would mean, you know, oh yeah, y'all are saying speedy trial. Okay, yeah, so he can rule it again, right? Monica said no trial. I mean, if he's just going to plead guilty, yeah, go before the judge, yeah, so he can get on his way to Department of Corrections. Interesting.
Helping Drummond while he was on the run. Now, as far as the victims and that young baby girl that will grow up without her parents, her grandmother, her uncle, allegedly, because of Austin Drummond, there is a.
Oh my God, I've got pictures of my kid's dad in the hospital with me like that when they were born. I've got pictures of their dad holding them asleep just like that. Wow, that just hit a soft spot on my heart.
Because of Austin Drummond, there is a GoFundMe page that has the title Support the Surviving Children and Family After Tragic Loss. It says that Courtney Rose, the maternal grandmother of that 7-month-old child, also had 2 other children along with Adriana that she leaves behind. As you saw before, we spoke
And we heard that there was 2 other little girls that were left behind as well. If he pleads guilty or takes a plea deal, it will be without a jury. I don't know where Abellis is. She might be laying down, Vero. Death row is different, Lorianne, but I don't know how different it'll be with him for him because it sounds like, he had the vice lords ruling the gang area. So we get to hear a lot more of Ricardo speak. We can come back to that. Let's listen to Brandon's arraignment. Now, let's talk about Brandon real quick. I'm going to read this to you or play this. I'll play this video in a minute, but it says, out of Crockett County, Tennessee, Wednesday night, a Bells patrol officer conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle heading westbound on Highway 412. Director of the West Tennessee Task Force, Johnny Carter, stated that upon the traffic stop, one person got out and ran away on foot while the driver pulled off, but eventually came to a stop. Quote, there was still the driver in the vehicle. The Bells police officer stayed with the vehicle, detained the driver, called for additional backup units to arrive. He also called us and asked for the drug task force assistance, said Carter. Brandon Powell was taken into custody. Carter stated that they came to help track the other suspect who ran away. During that tracking process, we discovered the backpack that he fled with. It had 1 pound of vacuum-sealed marijuana in the backpack, said Carter, but he stated that the car had even more. What was found in there was a drone, 4 mesh-like laundry bags, I guess you could call them, several cell phones with charger cords, a Sony PSP game console, multiple fentanyl pills that were disguised like Dirty 30s, said Carter. Dirty 30s are made to mimic pharmaceutical grade 30 milligram oxycodone, basically Percocet, 30 milligram Percocet. These pills are created using fentanyl. Carter stated that the evidence concluded that the drone was equipped to drop the mesh laundry bags with marijuana into the Northwest Correctional Facility in Lake County. He says typically you would see the light that is found on most drones, but the drone was tampered with. They put, right here, they had placed electrical tape over the lighting of the drone so it would not shine. You wouldn't be able to see it, said Carter. So I'm thinking they dropped it at night. Authorities are still searching for other suspect who ran from the scene. That's important. We have one in custody at this time. The other one is still at large. We do anticipate being able to draw up warrants for the one that is still at large, said Carter. Powell is currently being held at the Crockett County Jail. Now, I've seen a few videos on Brandon Powell's arraignment, but if I'm not mistaken, in the arraignment, it suggests that Austin Drummond is the one who ran from the scene. That Austin was with Brandon when this happened. The police got behind them. Brandon got in trouble and Austin ran. Allegedly, they were both going to do this drop. And it's funny because when he got in trouble, we were watching Facebook and he continues to talk about y'all some weird ass hoes is what he called us for thinking he was involved in any way, shape, or form with Austin, even though he's all over Austin's Facebook. When Austin just got out of jail, when we looked him up, Fat Fox the God, here, there he is with Austin when Austin first got out of jail. And that's probably because Fat Fox the God right here was doing this stuff while Austin was in jail, and that's part of the reason that Austin had all of the things here, the Ciroc, all of the Nintendo, and all of that stuff. I don't know if you could drop a damn Nintendo. Some of that shit came from the COs, but this, notice the little, I guess it's a PlayStation game console. I thought it was a Nintendo Switch. And then if we click back over here, you can see again the PlayStation console right there. I think they've been working together since Austin was in jail. Austin ran from the scene, and Fat Fox the God was saying, I'm not involved with him any way, shape, or form. The police have knocked down my door 2 days in a row, and y'all some weird ass hosts for thinking I got anything to do with it, because if I did, I'd be in jail right now. Da 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 da. And then we find out he is in jail, and that he might have assisted or been with Austin when he got arrested. allegedly. There it is. All right.
So let me know.
So here is his arraignment. Cuban, good to see you. He's institutionalized, in my opinion, anyway. And that's the problem. I've got a family member that was institutionalized, sent to prison when he was 16 years old. It was a really sad situation. He was actually, he wanted to be in the military so bad, and he was just being really stupid the night before he was supposed to leave. I think he was 17. He had just turned 18 as an extent or part of my family on Mr. Speculating side. He was like the night before he was supposed to go to boot camp. They were messing around, him and a friend, and they were breaking into cars, and he stole some firearms. And he went to Arkansas Department of Corrections at the age of like, he might have been 16, 17, or 18, really, really young. And he had to get involved. He had to get protection from the Peckerwoods. And so it makes them, like, at that young of an age, their brains are still developing, just like with Austin going when he was 16. Their brains are still developing. They're scared. It's a scary place. People are looking to kill you or rape you or all of these things, and you need protection. And then you get involved in this familial type unit type thing with the gangs, and you can't ever get out. And it's really sad and scary. And they do get used to it, but part of it's like, do they really got to go to the Department of Corrections at that young of an age? I don't know. I don't know, man. Hey, Kate, good to see you. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. All right, so let's watch Brandon's arraignment.
All right, now we are going to send you back to that courthouse where we have another one of the suspects who's accused of helping 28-year-old Austin Drummond avoid capture following the accused quadruple murderers. Let's listen in.
The extensive investigation has revealed that Mr. Powell conspired with Mr. Drummond and 3 other individuals to deliver contraband in the penal facility at Lake County, Tennessee. Law enforcement surveillance observed the entire process of the events above. This is a Class E felony, sir. In addition to that, sir, you have 1 count of criminal conspiracy. It's alleged that on the same date and time, based on the same facts or circumstances, it's the same facts of the previous warrant. It's alleged that you conspired Mr. Drummond to deliver these amounts to the to the Northwest Correctional Facility in Lake County, Tennessee.
All right. So again, if we go back over here, and it says that we have 1 in custody at this time, the other one is still at large. And he just said, we think that you conspired with Mr. Drummond to deliver all of the substances right here to the penal facility in Tennessee. So that tells me that it was Austin that was with him in that car, possibly. And Austin is the one that got away. Brandon was the driver, so he got arrested and is now sitting before the judge. I'm going to back it up a little bit so y'all can hear that again.
The same date and time, based on the same facts or circumstances, it's the same facts of the previous warrant. It's alleged that you conspired Mr. Drummond to deliver these amounts to the Lake County, to the Northwest Correctional Facility in Lake County, Tennessee.
There you go. So he was with Austin. That's crazy to me. I guess there's no more cooking with Big Daddy. I guess not. We can watch that again if y'all want to. Tom said, that's what Tom was saying. No more deep fried flaming Cheeto balls for Fat Fox. God. You got to add that God on it. After we watch his arraignment, I'll show y'all that video again.
General, are these the only charges against Mr. Powell at this time? I believe they are. Okay. Is the state intending to move forward with felony charges?
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay.
So right now, those are the only charges against him. I'm assuming they're a misdemeanor, so he's in orange. And then the judge asked, is the state intending to move forward with felony charges? And they say, yes, they are. So technically, he's not been charged with a felony yet, and that's probably why he's wearing orange and not the stripes. Now, after they move forward with the felony charges, he'll probably be in stripes, but it's different at different facilities.
Mr. Powell, let me ask you a question, sir. Are you going to be able to hire an
Hey, Blue
attorney to
Jay.
represent you at this time, or would you like the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are going to be able to hire an attorney, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Reason I ask you is that if you were not able to, I want to know, so I don't want to keep you in longer than you need to before we need to bring you back for a hearing. It's the reason I'm asking you, okay? Has your family, to your knowledge, has your family spoken to anybody about this, about hiring you an attorney?
Now, I've got some screenshots that I need to get edited and show you guys, but a lot of people have a lot of problems with the fact that he's going to be able to afford to hire his own attorney. A lot of people are thinking he's basically the head honcho in this chapter of the Vice Lords, and he very well could be. He could be one of the ones that's not doing any substances, and that could be how he has all this money. Remember in the video we watched, he's like, y'all some what bitches or lame ass hoes, something weird ass bitches. I'm sure it's some kind of saying like that, because y'all gonna snitch somebody out over $15,000, acting like $15,000 won't shit to him. It might not have been. He might have it that good. Who knows? But we'll talk about these screenshots and what people are saying on Facebook and other places about the fact that he's going to be able to hire his own attorney.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you happen to know who they are? Well, let me ask you this. I'll just cut to the chase.
Thank
Have they
you.
hired an attorney?
I think today, after this, court preparing, I'll have a discussion with them, and a couple of lawyers were supposed to call my people back today. So today, I'll probably have some time this afternoon.
Sir, this is what I ask of you. If you are able to hire an attorney, if you do that, sir, what we'll need to do is have that attorney contact the clerk's office here to let them know they have been retained to represent you, so that we can be sure to send them all of your paperwork and your files, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am going to address bond at this time. If you would, please raise your right hand for me, sir. To the best of your ability. Yes, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is true, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you put your hand down, sir. Mr. Powell, let me ask you this, or let me tell you this, sir. Before we do anything, I want to advise you, if you've come back to court and you have not been able to do that, if you've not been able to hire an attorney, just let me know, and I'll be happy to still ask you questions about appointing you one, okay?
Now, allegedly, he might be able to post a bond and things like that. Let me show you these screenshots of what people are saying about the fact that he's going to hire his own attorney, allegedly, and why people think he could be basically the head honcho of the gang. And, as you know, I've had my days where I was young and really stupid and made bad decisions. A lot of times when you're living a lifestyle like that, eventually you're going to get caught. So a lot of people would try very hard to put money to the side in case they did need to hire an attorney, in case they did get caught, because it takes a lot of money to hire an attorney to represent you if you get busted with like a freaking kilogram of fucking methamphetamine. Like, you got to have money set to the side so that you can be represented. And the people who ended up getting high on their own supply were not able to do that, but some people were. And I'm sure he probably smokes, but smoking, maybe if he's making that kind of money, maybe he does have money set aside for what he needs to do. I don't know. Here's a picture of him in his suit, looking very well dressed for an occasion. Looking very nice. He's very well dressed. I like that. He looks really nice there. He really does. Okay. And then we have what people are saying. Let me go to the first one. This is the first one. And these are just, again, Facebook posts that people are saying there. I don't know if they're true or not. I was not there. I did not see. I do not know. I'm just sharing it with you. Someone said, I don't like that people are painting Fat Fox to be the, quote, mastermind, unquote, just because he has money for a lawyer. Maybe he's just better with his money. He doesn't appear to be a drug user like the others, so it makes sense as to why he has more money and resources. And right there, I mean, you answered your own question. An anonymous participant 693 tells them that when they said it's not about doing drugs when it comes to being the mastermind, it's all about dealing drugs and money. I think you just confirmed why he is the mastermind. So again, if he's the one taking care of all the money and got the connections to the plug and all of that, he's going to be the one taking care of all that. He is going to be the mastermind, the leader, the one running the operation. So, I mean, there you go. And when you're in a position like that, you usually try to save money for court and things like that. Another person said, anonymous participant 158, that's what I'm saying. I think the month before the homicides happened, the 3 individuals he conspired with were possibly the victims. Now, yeah, allegedly a month before everything happened, he conspired with some individuals about something, and they could have been the victims. Somebody said that allegedly they were supposed to testify against them at court, and that's why Austin was ordered to take them out. Regardless, I think it was an ordered hit for some reason, whether a deal went bad with Matthew and then the other 3 were just collateral damage because they were there, or if they were supposed to testify in court. I don't know. Testifying in court, I mean, you really wouldn't want to be going and threatening witnesses unless you're like P. Diddy or something and have the money to get away with it. That's a pretty serious thing. That's pretty obvious if they're already connected to you and the law knows that. So I don't know. Y'all can let me know what you think. Tanya said General Fat Fox ordered the hits, potentially, allegedly. He knew and was easily manipulated. Oh, he knew Austin Drummond was easily manipulated, though. I don't know, just speculation. Do y'all think that Fat Fox ordered the hits? They definitely don't get high on their own supply. Right, and I think that's how he had the money to hire his own attorney and all of that. Now, we're just speculating and talking. Don't ever get high on your own supply. Take a moment to pay respects to the burnt coffee. Thank you, coffee, for being my friend every morning. May you now rest easy. Look like an Amish brother. It is all about the money. When you're getting money like that, like tens of thousands of dollars under the table, no taxes, no nothing. I mean, it's so hard to walk away from that. I knew people from my lifestyle that I had, and they would say, I mean, one of them was trying to get out, and we weren't in any type of gang or anything, but he was dealing, and he tried to get an actual job working construction, and he would say, it's just so hard. I'm making a fraction of what I used to could make in a couple of hours at night dealing, and it is hard to walk away from that. I mean, getting so much money in a short period of time that the government's not taxing you on, that doesn't have to be reported. It's really hard to walk away from it. But when you don't walk away from it in the proper amount of time, you end up back here. So let's go back and finish listening to his arraignment.
I couldn't hear you for a second.
I apologize, sir. If we come back to court and you have not been able to hire an attorney, just let me know. And I'll be happy to ask you questions about appointing you an attorney if you think you're not going to be able to hire one, okay?
No, sir, I don't have.
Okay, that's good. Just wanted to make sure. Mr. Powell, let me ask you, sir, this is the address that's listed on the warrant. I want to make sure that I have this address right, and if it's not right, please tell me, okay? I have an address of 1115 Willow Oak Lane in Jackson, Tennessee. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you lived at that address, sir?
About 2.5 years.
Okay. Who do you live at that address with, sir?
Y'all, there is a button on the side of my mouse, and my thumb, if it hits it, it'll boot me. All he said was that he lives with himself. I'll take it back a little bit. Thank you, JoJo, for that. We might have some clarification on pharmacists accused of stealing weight loss jabs amid worries of shortages. I get news updates on my computer. That was weird. Jojo just sent me this, and maybe we can hear what he asked here better. So I'll jump to this real quick. Let's see.
As long as it's not related to the facts of your case or anything that could infringe on your Fifth Amendment rights, I'm fine with that, sir.
I'm just wondering, is now the time we need to ask for a quick speedy trial, or how's that?
Well,
it was quick and speedy trial. Y'all were right. Thank you for that, Jojo. Hey, AM. O.J. Simpson's daughter denied accepting a dime for his estate after he died. She said it's her mom's blood money. Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Right? More money, more problems. So he did ask for a quick and speedy trial. I'll back it up one more time and we'll go back to Brandon. Y'all were right. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm just wondering, is now the time we need to ask for a quick and speedy trial, or how's that?
Well,
so yeah, it was definitely a quick and speedy trial that he requested. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, everybody. Hey, Abellis. I figured you were asleep. Bad drugs do too much damage to people. Drug dealers in prison, people with drugs, they don't even care, cut up with all kinds of shit. Oh, yeah. I used to see them use fruit fresh in shit, damn baby laxative, baby formula, all kinds of shit. Did he burp? I don't know. Maybe. It might have been the audio. I don't know. All right. Continuing with Fat Fox Dogod.
Okay. How long have you lived at that address, sir?
About 2.5 years.
I did too.
Who do you live at that address with, sir?
Myself.
Yourself? Okay. Sir, let me just ask you this. How long have you lived in Jackson, Tennessee? All of your life? Okay. Have you lived anywhere besides Jackson, Tennessee?
No, sir.
Okay. Sir, let me ask you this. In the last 10 years, have you been convicted or charged with a felony offense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you still on parole or probation for that offense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, sir, can you recall what the charge was?
Schedule 6.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Schedule 6 narcotic with an intent to sell, I think is what he said.
Schedule, maybe like 2 or 3.
Okay. How much time are you serving on that charge, sir?
10 years.
10 years. How much time do you have left?
How much do I have left?
5.5 left?
Ooh.
No, I got 9 left.
9 left. Okay. Yes, sir.
He's got 9 years left on a charge he was out on probation for. That's not good. Thank you, Abellis. We're going to talk about that today. I appreciate that. Tom said, what a shocker.
Okay. I apologize. Is there any other felony charges that you have had within the last 10 years in addition to that?
No, sir.
Okay. In the last 10 years, have you been charged or convicted of ever failing to appear in court?
No, sir.
Okay. General.
Your statement recommends $75,000 bond.
Mr. Powell, let me ask you, sir, are you going to be able to post a $75,000 bond?
Possibly.
Possibly? Okay. Mr. Powell, this is what I want to do. General, since he's not
Right.
100% sure, I think I'm going to reset him to Monday morning to make sure if he does make his bond, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him on the docket on the 14th with everybody else. But just to make sure he makes his bond, we're going to continue the case to Monday, okay? Mr. Powell, I'm going to continue your case to Monday morning, okay? That's just to make sure you make your bond. You have some time. There's some time limits that go with these cases, and I want to make sure that we don't push you too far out and you're still in custody, okay? That's why I just want to have you back on Monday, okay?
If Monday, if I don't make the bond by Monday, will the bond be lowered Monday?
That's something that your attorney will have to address with me.
Okay.
Governor, he also needs to be aware that there's a hold out of Crockett County for him as well.
Okay. Mr. Powell, they told me I don't know anything about this charge, sir. They just informed me there is a hold currently out in Crockett County, Tennessee for you. I don't know anything about the charge, but if you were to make bond, you would have to go to Crockett County to face those charges as well, sir, okay?
So basically, if he makes bond, he's going to be transferred to Crockett County to face those charges. And like with Austin Drummond, he could possibly be bailed out on that. So yeah, I'm thinking he did a year in jail and then was let out on probation basically for 9 years or at least 5 or something to that effect. It might have been his first offense, and if it's a drug offense, they do try to give you an opportunity to go back out and, you know, redeem yourself and get a job and, you know, be a productive member of society. But considering the weight that he had and the way he was talking and all of that, not the weight physically, but the weight as in the marijuana, um, I doubt he was checking in with his probation officer anyway, if I had to guess. Alex, good to see you. Judge should have asked him, have you ever had a legitimate job? He might have. I hope so. I couldn't catch it, Amy. Take it back a little bit.
If I don't pay the bond by Monday, will the bond be lowered Monday?
If I don't pay the bond by Monday, will the bond be lowered by Monday? So basically, if he stays in there over the weekend, will the bond be lower on Monday if he's planning to bond out? Thank you, Michelle, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Michelle said, thanks, allegedly speculating crew. Y'all work too hard. Thank you. Our mods are awesome. We're always working, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was so sweet of you. Yes, he is spoiled. I was telling Vero, he's not in front of the AC right now. I have this big, humongous, like, Peep pillow that Mr. Speculating got me for Easter one year. It's like a 3-foot pillow, but it's flat, and I put it on the floor at the foot of the bed so that when he jumps off the bed, if he goes to get some of his food or whatever that's in the kitchen, when he jumps off the bed, he won't be landing on the hard floor. So that pillow is there so that when he jumps off, he lands on something soft, and sometimes he'll lay down there. He doesn't lay down there a lot, but that's where he's at right now. Thank you again, Michelle. That was so very sweet of you.
That's something that your attorney will have to address with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your Honor, he also needs to be aware that there's a hold out of Crockett County for him as well.
Okay. Mr. Powell, they have told me I don't know anything about this charge, sir. They just informed me there is a hold currently out in Crockett County, Tennessee for you. I don't know anything about the charge, but if you were to make bond, you would have to go to Crockett County to face those charges as well, sir. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Powell, be aware. General. Yes, sir.
Can I get like a breakdown on how the bond is $75,000?
What did he say?
Are you asking me why I'm saying that amount?
He said something about the $75,000 bond. Miss Scorpio, thank you for gifting a membership. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. I don't know if I don't have my live pulled up on my phone. Hold on, and we'll try to see who it went to. Excuse me. Hold on, just a minute. All right. Miss Scorpio Rising gifted a membership, and that went to Call Me Cupcake. Call Me Cupcake, if you are here and you are aware Miss Scorpio just gifted you, please tell her thank you. Thank you, Miss Scorpio Rising. And I'm going to grab the crazy train to pick you up, Cupcake, on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Miss Scorpio. That was so sweet and supportive of you, and I really appreciate that. Hey, Carolina Nana, Debbie, Call Me Cupcake, the Bun Basil. Yes, Speculation family does not take responsibility for loss of limbs on the crazy train. But if you do lose a limb, I promise you, I've got some medicinal herbs to stop the bleeding until we get to the train station. All right. Let's see. He says something about a $75,000 bond.
Tennessee for you. I don't know anything about the charge, but if you were to make bond, you would have to go to Crockett County to face those charges as well, sir. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Powell, be aware. General. Yes, sir.
Can I get like a breakdown on how the bond is $75,000?
Okay, so he said, am I getting a breakdown on how the bond is $75,000?
Or are you asking me why I'm saying that amount?
But I thought it went by like a range by the fence.
Well, what it is, sir, is that
So basically, he said, I want to know about like the range by the events. Basically, he's asking, why is my bond $75,000 for these charges? He feels like it shouldn't be that high when you correlate it to what he's charged with. And I think Austin Drummond's bond was like $75,000. And that was in reference to an attempted homicide. So, like, I get it. I mean, yeah, you were delivering drugs. And that's not attempted murder. But I think that the bonds are being higher because of their alleged gang affiliation and everything they had going on. Hey, Simone. We have the right aids here to make you feel safe, right? Okay, Jojo. Thank you for that. What did Cara say? Oh, where did it go? I'm not seeing it. Let me scrolly. Lord, I don't see Cara's anything recent. By the way, are you in the pathway of the flood warnings? Oh, no, I don't know. I haven't heard about any flood warnings, but it rained here for 3 days straight and it just stopped. So I'll have to look. Lord, I hope these people are okay. I hope the flooding is not bad and everybody is okay. All right. Yeah. I have a question, Judge. Do they have flaming Cheetos? Yeah, I think he can pay the bond. And I think that's why he was asking if it's going to be lowered on Monday because he has the money to pay it and like he can just sit there for 2 days and probably save a shitload of money. I'm not in England, no.
when setting bond, I have to take into consideration a couple of things: your nexus to the community.
Oh, wow.
I didn't hear any testimony to indicate that you have any family here in Lake County, Tennessee, or have any business where you work in Lake County, Tennessee. So you don't have much of a nexus to the community. I have to consider that. In addition to that, the fact that you're currently on probation for a prior felony conviction, I have to take into consideration that, as well as the possible safety of the community. So that's the reason why the bond is a little enhanced in this case, is because you don't have much of a nexus to our county here in Lake County. You've been a resident of Madison County your whole life. If your attorney wants to address the bond, I'll be happy to let them do that, but we'll have to have them present here to argue that on your behalf, okay?
So basically, yeah, the bond is high, but he said it that high because of Brandon Powell's association to Austin Drummond. The fact that he was with Austin Drummond when they were attempting to deliver this to the facility, and he doesn't have any ties to Lake County, so therefore his bond is bigger. If he wants to argue it, then he can have the lawyer come and argue it on his behalf.
So I'm going to continue your case to Monday morning. General,
Hey,
in
running
regards to Mr. Powell, I did not hear in the warrants any interactions or anything going on in regards to Mr. Drummond's case that is currently. So the state is asking for a restraining order, and that is the reason we didn't ask for one. Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that. Okay, sir. Okay, so Mr. Powell, I'm going to say your bond conditions are, sir, you must keep in contact with your attorney. You're not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol, and you also cannot be charged with a new offense or fail to appear in court, sir. Okay. I'm going to continue your case on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and we'll see you back here then, sir, okay? All right, good luck to you, sir. Okay. Folks, this is a very different General Sessions court date. Most of the time we'll be in the courtroom, and I'm telling this mostly to our friends in the media, so that y'all do this for the future. We'll be here in the courtroom on those dates. We are a tiny county, in case y'all have not discovered that. You have now.
So Jojo, this that Jojo just sent me, it says that from VineLink. Oh, I don't, how did I do that? That was nice. I don't even know how I did that, but okay. It says August 7th of 2025. This email is to inform you that Austin Drummond with offender number, all of that, was released from custody on August 7th of 2025. If you have any concerns about your immediate safety, contact your local law enforcement agency, or if you have an emergency, call 911. If you are the victim and need an additional information, contact the County District Attorney General's office or Lake County Jail. The the number for this facility is, I don't know what that is. He can't bond out because he doesn't have a bond. I was thinking that, because he was on bond for like the homicide charge and the methamphetamine charge, it might mean that they basically revoked his bond and released him from being in the custody of their system because he was in Lake County. But it says if you're the victim and need additional information, contact Lake County Jail. So I'm assuming it's probably a fake. I don't know. It says the bond service. I mean, but again, I know he's not been released. He doesn't have a bond because there is a death penalty. Yeah, that's good. Dane to Dane, maybe he was transferred. She said, I checked on bond though, and he's still listed as in custody. So I'm thinking that maybe he was released on a different charge in that county, but is still in custody. Michelle said, or they could have pretrial units. I don't know. News Nation is there. Gang members will retaliate. Allegedly, the guy he was giving his PIN number. Oh, yeah, Stephen Stearns. Yeah. Wait a minute. Allegedly, the guy he was giving his PIN number to was extorting him for it, and now that he's out of it, the guy let his buddies know about him, so allegedly people are waiting for him. Oh, wow. Yeah, it is scary. I don't think he can get out. Austin or Stephen. All right. So that was Brandon Powell's arraignment. And just real quick, while I get these documents together, I can show you the video for what he's in there on right now. Mamie. Stop it. Oh, y'all, remember y'all need to donate blood, okay? Donate blood.
Information on a large drug bust in a local county that leaves one man behind bars and another on the run.
WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Caitlin Nicholson is live in studio with the latest details. Caitlin.
Thank you, Brad and Terry. Last night, after a patrol officer conducted a traffic stop, the situation took a turn. Take a look.
Wednesday night, a Bells patrol officer conducted a stop on a vehicle heading westbound on Highway 412. Director of the West Tennessee Drug Task Force, Johnny Carter, stated that upon the traffic stop, one person ran off on
foot, and allegedly that was Austin Drummond. Where they got these police badges. I'm wondering what they were using those for. Hey, Laura. I wish I could donate blood. I did it years ago, but now I don't weigh enough. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, WBBJ has been on top of it for this case.
Foot while the driver pulled off, but eventually came to a stop.
There was still the driver still in the vehicle, so the Bells police officer stayed with the vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Detained the driver, called for additional backup units to arrive. He also called us and asked for the drug task force's assistance.
Brandon Powell was taken into custody. Carter stated that they came to help track the other suspect on foot.
During that tracking process, we discovered the backpack that he fled with. It had 1 pound of vacuum sealed marijuana in the backpack.
But he stated that the car had even more.
So Austin had a book bag, and I guess the book bag had the pound of marijuana in it. He dropped it and ran. And then they got Brandon Powell, who was driving the vehicle, and they got even more stuff that was in the vehicle.
What was found in there was a drone, 4 mesh, like laundry bags, I guess you could call them, several cell phones with charger cords, a Sony PSP game console, multiple fentanyl pills that were disguised like the, we call them dirty 30s.
Dirty 30s are made to mimic a 30 milligram oxycodone pill that's made from the pharmacy. These pills are created using fentanyl. Carter stated that the evidence concluded that the drone was equipped to drop the mesh laundry bags with marijuana into the Northwest Correctional Facility.
And there you can see that one has a charger and a lighter. And they basically put electrical tape over the lighting of the drone, and they were dropping it somewhere in the yard so that when the inmates came out on the yard, they could pick it up. But I'm assuming they're doing this at night when there's no COs out watching the yard. But where were they dropping the bags that no COs would necessarily see it? I'm wondering. Oh, yeah, we were going to watch his Cheeto video. We'll watch that too.
In Lake County. He says typically you would see the lights on the drone, but the drone was tampered with.
They had placed electrical tape over the lighting of the drone so that it would not shine. You wouldn't be able to see it.
Authorities are still searching for the other suspect who ran from the scene.
We have one in custody at this time. The other one is still at large.
And allegedly, again, as you heard from the arraignment, that was Austin Drummond.
We do anticipate being able to draw up warrants for that one that's still at large.
Powell is currently being held at the Crockett County Jail. Live in studio.
And here is our lovely Brandon. This is his Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. His YouTube channel. He's got 50 subscribers and 74 videos. I think he was trying to be like a foodie. A lot of it has to do with games and things. Thank you. Here, it's brown sugar. Will you put it in the cabinet so I can make the apple butter? Thank you, baby. Okay, so we'll watch the Cheetos video.
Cooking with Big Daddy. Cooking with Big Daddy.
You gonna be making them cooking them throwing burritos off the canteen. That's what you about to be doing, bruh.
All right, y'all. Today I'm gonna be making them hot Cheeto boudin balls. Now I ain't gonna lie, I slick had a hard ass time making this shit. You feel what I'm saying? But you gonna cut the boudin open, whatever. Get in the little bowl, little pan, crumble it up. I added a little bit of seasoning because I ain't know if the boudin was really seasoned like that, you know.
Yeah, the apples are in season. I want to get some from the mountains, but I'm not close enough to go get some. But I've been getting apples, and I made apple butter the other day, but I put too much cloves in it. So I let the kids eat that. And I'm trying to make some more, but I was out of brown sugar. Running Bear said, bruh, I'm dead. Yeah, just put that on repeat. Cooking with Big Daddy. Cooking with Big Daddy. Make that my intro. Yeah.
I'm saying, and with
Save the seed.
this seasoning, you can add as much as you want to because it is salt-free seasoning. That's all I use. I added a little bit of breadcrumbs. They say it's supposed to help the meat stick with the cheese and shit. Then I'm gonna go in with 2 cheeses. I did half of it with the mozzarella cheese, and then I went back with the signature cheddar blend. You got to get the signatures if you really want it to be cheesy and melty. You feel what I'm saying? If you just get that regular cheese, it ain't gonna do it. You're gonna grab you some, ball it up, make a nice little ball like that right there. Boom, I slapped down 9 of the motherfuckers real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Slap them down real quick. Nothing slow about this process. We doing it quick as shit, y'all.
Then I'm gonna toss these in the refrigerator. While I got these in the refrigerator, I'm gonna get all the other shit ready, all the other ingredients. We got the flaming hot puffs. We're gonna throw them in the blender, blend them up. You know what I'm talking about? Then we're gonna grab the flaming hot crunchy motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You do both of them so it'll get like a little different little crunch. You know what I'm saying?
So you got to have the puffy Cheetos and the crunchy ones. You got to have both.
And then we're gonna drop the little all-purpose flour in a little bowl. We're gonna need that. You know what I'm saying? I throw a little cornstarch in there with the flour. That's gonna give it that crunch. If you don't know, cornstarch give it that crunch. We're gonna add a little more breadcrumbs. They say it help it stick together. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna get 1 egg, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I used all the eggs because I know I ain't finna make no eggs or nothing tomorrow. We're going to whisk them up, whip the eggs up.
He said we go, whisk them up, whisk them up.
6. I used all the eggs because I know I ain't finna make no eggs or nothing tomorrow. We're going to whisk them up, whip the eggs.
Whisk them up. What are we adding these extra adjectives for?
Eggs up.
It wasn't an adjective, but what are we adding these extra words, these extra letters for? Stop it. Stop it right now.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who, this is where everything went wrong right here. I should have just used a regular pot or pan or whatever.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Because that little ass tin thing right there, I should not have to try to fry this shit in this shit. Y'all gonna see. Anyway, we grab the shit, we go egg, then you go flour.
I think it's like a sausage type thing, like some type of sausage. It's boudin. I don't know. I assume it's some type of sausage. If I make them, I'm gonna make it with sausage, y'all. That would be a good video, wouldn't it? I might need to get stuff to make this and redo the cooking with Big Daddy video. I don't know. I might try to do that. I had to see if I can get it set up right to record in my little itty bitty house with all the kids around. I might have to make a cooking with Big allegedly speculating video.
Then you go egg again, then you put it in the Cheetos and that motherfucker pop out like that. That motherfucker look A1 perfect. Everything was going good all the way up. And make sure, do not turn y'all eye on while y'all doing this. Because getting them little motherfucking balls together take a little time. Then you're going to throw them back in the refrigerator for about 20, 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I done went and put my do-rag and shit on while we waiting on them to chill and all that good shit. Then I'm a boom. Do not fry in this little tin thing right here. And one of them, get a pot, get a deep fry, whatever, because y'all gonna see. As I keep frying, these motherfuckers just keep getting darker and darker. The oil done got dark. The goddamn boudin balls done got dark. Then my goddamn spoon done melted. Look.
He's got it up too high, and yeah, you use a regular pan. It's not fried Twinkies. Have y'all had them fried Oreos? They're so good. If he makes it to 50 with a diet like that, it'll be a freaking miracle. Cook outside barbecue style. Truly flaming, said Barrow.
Look at this shit. Look at my motherfucking spoon, y'all. That motherfucker done melted. Then I tried to put the shit on top of that. I done dropped it. Struggling. I done got grease everywhere. Fuck. Oh my God.
Yep.
Shit ain't always peaches and creams, man. Shit is not always peaches and cream. I got grease everywhere. I done melted the little junk on the bottom. I got grease all over the stove, grease all on the floor. Half of these motherfuckers dark brown and burnt and shit. Like, I really was mad. Everything was going good. I'm like, fuck it. I'm still gonna try it. I'm gonna try one of the ones that look good. Look at that motherfucker. Good cheese pull. Good cheese pull. And I'm like, oh. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker was fire. You did what I'm saying? Cooking with Big Daddy. Cooking with Big Daddy.
I'm gonna save that. I am. I'm gonna save it.
Cheese pull. Good cheese pull. And I'm like, oh.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker was fire. You did what I'm saying? Cooking with Big Daddy. Cooking with Big Daddy. And then they try theirs with nacho cheese. But I said, fuck nacho cheese. We're going to go queso. We're going to go queso cheese with it instead of the nacho cheese. And that motherfucker was banging with the queso. Fuck the nacho cheese.
All right. So that was cooking with Big Daddy. All right. So now we can jump into the documents as soon as I write my timestamp down. We're at 1:40. Okay. All right. Let's look at these documents for these people here. Okay. This one, let me get it pulled up. This is the Department of Corrections report for Austin Drummond. And I think this is the one that tells us that he originally got in trouble at like the age of 12. I saw a clip of this part on somebody's YouTube and they were going through it. I haven't read all these documents yet, and I'm not going to read the whole things or whatever. If y'all want them without the watermarks, you can get them on my Patreon if you want to use them for your channel or something like that. So I know it talks about, okay, Official version, he was indicted for the robbery on April 28th of 2014. This, along with another charge of aggravated robbery, aggravated kidnapping, were transferred from juvenile on or about October 9th of 2013. The second case was a no true bill for both counts on April 28th of 2014. Defendant requested a jury trial, and the trial was held on August 27th of 2014. After a finding of guilty, the jury imposed a fine of $4,444.44. That's hilarious because do y'all remember when he committed the robbery, he only got $44. So I'm wondering if that's why they did the $4,444.44 because he robbed him and got $44. Sentencing is set for September 26th. That tells us about the robbery, which we've went through. Basically, he went to the Circle K. The cashier was asking him why he was walking up and down all the aisles. He said he had the munchies. She turned to look out in the parking lot and then turned around, and there he was at the cash register with a pistol that he said was a BB gun. He told her to give her everything in the drawer, don't fucking play, and it ended up being $44. And as he walked away, he said, "Man, y'all tripping," 3 times. Her customers that were officers came in shortly thereafter, and she told them what happened, and they took off. He ran, and I think he was later located in Daytona, Florida. There are no condemnments in this case. A statement was sent to the victim in this matter. She is no longer employed with Circle K. She provided this officer with her new address. Prior record. Okay, the criminal history information contained herein shall be used only for law enforcement purposes or as authorized by law. The disclosure of the information, Okay, July 4th. No. Yeah, July 4th, 2014, he was 17, and he got a charge of vandalism. July 10th of 2014, suspended sentence to a juvenile facility for 6 months to begin on July 20th. Okay. So there might not be anything. I don't know. We're going to see. March 12th of 2013, he was in the area of MCO Road and Smithville Drive regarding a possible vehicle burglary. Defendant and unknown male were encountered. Officers attempted to place both subjects in custody when they both fled on foot. Austin ran into the woods and was later caught. He was charged with resisting the stop, halt, and frisk. On August 11th of 2013, the manager of Catfish Cabin. Now remember, he said he had a job at Catfish Cabin. So the manager in Jackson, they got the deputies rushing regarding someone smoking Mary Jane on the restaurant's premises. Deputy rushing began to pat Austin down and observed a baggie of green leafy substance right where Austin was standing. The deputy tried to cuff Austin, but he fled and was later found in a dumpster behind a nearby Verizon store. Deputy rushing took custody of the baggie and the shoes Austin dropped and found a digital scale with green residue on it. When Austin was taken into custody, he had $400 in cash on his person. He was charged with possession with intent and resisting arrest. Okay, so these are 2012. On January 16th of 2012, defendant was charged with theft of property and vandalism over $500. In that, on July 16th of 2012, Officer King responded to a theft report at Kroger's University Parkway in Jackson. Kroger employee reported that a male subject dressed in black entered the establishment at 11:45 p.m., broke into the cash box at the register, and he fled the store. Store management, Frank, said the box contained $300 and the box was destroyed. He identified Austin Austin was wearing a gray shirt, black bracelet on his left, and distinctive athletic shoes as he left on the video. On August 20th of 2012, Austin assaulted his younger brother by choking him. Austin then left the residence prior to the Jackson Police Department arriving. He was located around 1830 hours walking north on Highland near North High School. When officer attempted to take him into custody, Austin jerked his arm away and began running. He was later located in a storage building on Comanche Trail. He entered the building without permission of the owners. So, we got one from 2011. He was born in 1996, I do believe. His date of birth is August 31st of 1996. So, hold on. Let's get his actual date of birth. It's probably on that paper. Yeah, let me just scroll up and see if it's at the top. Oh, they redacted his date of birth. I do believe, let's look at the TBI most wanted, because it's on that. I know y'all can't see it. Hold on. That's telling me that he's in custody. I'm trying to find it for y'all before we do it. Okay, let's see. Lord of mercy. Let's see what this is. Well, he's 28 right now. Let's find that. He'll be 29 this month. So if someone is 29 this month, yeah, I know how I can do it, but my brain's not working. Lord have mercy. I'm sure y'all have told me the answer. Yeah, 1996. Okay. My head is, I've already got a headache, and so I'm not trying to do math right now. Someone was born in 1996. So in 2011, he was 15 years old. Okay. So in 2012, he would have been 16. Excuse me. Okay. Vandalism at the Kroger. Okay. On August 20th of 2012, he assaulted his younger brother. On June 6th of 2013, the Department of Children's Services, Judge Little committed defendant to the Department of Children's Services after hearing the above matters, indicating that the defendant was delinquent and all reasonable efforts have been made services rendered to prevent or eliminate the removal of said child from his home, including outpatient counseling and placement at 3 separate facilities, River Quest, Lakeside, and Compass, on 2 separate occasions. In February of 2012, officers were dispatched to Reynolds Drive to a runaway report. Upon their arrival, officers made contact with Gregory Drummond, who stated his son Austin cut the screen off the bathroom window and left the residence. Austin returned back to the residence and was taken into custody for domestic vandalism. Search incident to arrest, officers observed a silver grinder used for grinding marijuana in the left pocket of the jacket. Austin was charged with domestic vandalism and possession of drug paraphernalia. On March 1st of 2012, a petition was signed by a juvenile court officer charging that the defendant was delinquent and in need of treatment. He was in violation of valid court order on February 8th of 2012, house arrest, ankle monitor violations. The monitor system reported multiple violations of Austin leaving his permitted zone. My Lord. When he was 15, him and another subject were observed hitting the window of the concession stand at Northside High School. The observer stated that he phoned police and waited. Another person with the caller saw the suspects on the roof of the school. The officer arrived and confronted the suspects, who fled on foot. After a chase, the two were captured. Austin was charged with criminal attempt to something. Again, at 15, burglary and invading arrest. He was ordered to do 24 hours of community service. His parents were to pay a court cost of $72. He completed that. Okay, 2009. That might be when he was 12. He was 13. This one's when he was 13. So when Austin was 13, he shoplifted some Axe deodorant. Well, my God, y'all. The boy probably stunk. Happy birthday to all you August babies. Yes. The boy probably stunk and needed some daggum deodorant, y'all. I see parents do their best and their kids get lost to their friends and the street, for lack of better words. Very true. And it sounds like he's been lost for quite some time. So yeah, when he was 13, he shoplifted some deodorant at a value of $6 from Walgreens. He took the item in a restroom and concealed them in a book bag. When confronted by the store manager, he continued to walk east on University Parkway, where he was stopped by a police officer. He surrendered the items to the officer. Lord have mercy. Additional information. He was reported to have frequent runaway behavior. He was said to sneak out of the house at night. He absconded from the Madison County Health Department on June 13th of 2013 and was said to be currently on runaway status. On July 10th of 2013, as per the Department of Children's Services Family Permanency Plan, the plan also indicated that defendant chose counterparts or friends with delinquent history. He was discharged from the Compass Intervention Center on June 3rd of 2013. He reported to have vandalized the DESIRE, the desire to disrupt himself from treatment while there, and he has presented increased defiance and assaultive behaviors towards his peers in an effort to disrupt his treatment. An intake appointment was made after his release in order for him to continue outpatient services with Pathways. Throughout defendant's juvenile appearances in court and participation in treatment programs, his parents were reported to be involved and cooperative. Defendant reported that he was kicked out of Northside High School in November of 2011. He said he completed 10th grade. A DCS report shows that defendant was in the 11th grade. The report also shows defendant had never had an IEP and has no educational disability. An evaluation included defendant's juvenile records showed that he stated during the second half of his freshman year, he began skipping school. He stated that he was skipping school to smoke marijuana, and prior to smoking marijuana, his grades were good. He said before he started using drugs, he got along well with both teachers and peers. He said his favorite subjects were science, math, and history. Apparently, something after his being expelled from Northside, sometime after that, he started going to Gateway Christian School. Damn, his parents even tried to get him in a Christian school to try to help his behavior. That's crazy. He did not participate in sports or activities in the community. Yeah, it is impossible to get juvenile records. That's why I'm wondering how we have all this. He was being held, okay. He reported that his drugs of choice are marijuana and Xanax. He stated he was using marijuana daily and Xanax weekly. One or more of his juvenile offenses involved the use of drugs. Juvenile court records show that defendant was being held in detention center on several days. He tested positive for marijuana. In April of 2013, Austin made several attempts to harm himself by using a blanket to choke himself until he passed out. He bit into a peanut butter cracker knowing that he was allergic to peanut butter. He told employees in detention that he was about to die. He tried to drown himself in the toilet. He tried to cut his wrist by using the rough edges on the wall. He took a blanket and wrapped it around his hand and began hitting it against the wall. Youth Village's crisis was called when he tried to choke himself. Austin was assessed, but crying? Oh, Austin was assessed, but crisis saw no need at that time for intervention. He was assessed by a counselor. He was asked by a counselor why he wished to harm himself, and he replied that it was because he did not want to be held at the detention center. He was found to be, in September, he was evaluated again. He was found to be competent to stand trial and was determined to have the ability to consult with his attorney with a reasonable degree of understanding. He was also given a diagnosis of conduct disorder, adolescent onset type, cannabis dependent, and analoxic dependence. Basically, it's medication or other intervention that inhibits an anxiety. He's dependent on Xanax. He was transported to Lakeside Hospital on April 3rd prior to his committing the current offenses. See, it right here. Defendant reported his juvenile record verified that he worked at Kroger's for about a year as a bagger and Catfish Cabin. And he got in trouble for robbing Kroger's and Catfish Cabin. Yeah, he tried to drown himself in the toilet. He cut his wrist. He tried to choke himself. He ate peanut butter knowing he's allergic. And then the two places that he robbed and committed vandalism was Kroger's and Catfish Cabin. And those are the two places that gave him an opportunity to have a job and try to be better. Hold on, we'll continue reading. Okay. Defendant's employment at Kroger was probably terminated after he was arrested for theft of property. Right. Juvenile records also indicate while he was employed with Catfish Cabin, deputies were called regarding someone smoking weed. Defendant was arrested. Wow. That's really sad. From the age of freaking 13. 13 is as far back as it goes. 13, he could have been 12. He might not have turned 13 yet, but from about the age of 12 or 13, that child has been running away, theft, weed. And weed don't make you do all that. He did say he had a dependence on Xanax too, but like, damn, choking his brother. And it all started right after he's got in his freshman year at high school. So it's probably, people, places, and things. Yeah, what a mess. Chris Watts was told to drown himself in the toilet when he got to jail. Wow. Oh, you're good, Chucker. Yeah, he's not successful at anything, it sounds like. He needed to be at a facility for mental reasons for at least a year, in my opinion. A month is not enough. I agree. I think they tried, but they should have kept him there longer. When he reached puberty, his mental illness kicked in. You think so, Running Bear? Maybe. He also knew the layout and where everything was, so it was an easy target. Yep. Tom, stop it. All right. So now we're on to Dearrah Denise Sanders. This is Lake County, Tennessee, affidavit of complaint. On July 30th of 2025 in Lake County, Tennessee, Dearrah committed the act of accessory after the fact. I further say under oath that the essential facts constituting the offenses, the sources of my information, and the reasons why this information are believable and reliable to me are as follows. Okay. On Tuesday, July 29th of 2025, Braden Williams, Courtney Rose, Adriana Williams, and James Matthew Wilson were all located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville, Lake County, Tennessee. On July 30th of 2025, Austin Drummond was charged with 4 counts of first-degree homicide. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that Dearrah Sanders did knowingly commit the offense of accessory after the fact by after the commissions of a felony with knowledge or reasonable ground to believe that Austin Drummond had committed the felony and with the intent to hinder an arrest, trial, and conviction of Austin Drummond. Okay. That doesn't tell me what she did. So it says Dearrah Sanders did knowingly commit the offense of accessory after the fact, after the commission of a felony, with knowledge or reasonable ground to believe that Austin Drummond had committed the felony and with the intent to hinder the arrest, trial, and conviction of Austin Drummond. But it doesn't tell me what she did. That's just notification of possible expunction of criminal records. Let's talk about, let me pull up her photo. If I have it still. Hold down. Yep, here it is. So Dearrah is the one that allegedly is a corrections officer. Also the one that we saw in the video. This is the girl I think he was like motioning to when we see the footage of Austin Drummond trying to enter the facility and he motions at something and there appears to be a car in the distance. And then Connie Branch's sister came up and said that vehicle was allegedly a Jeep, and allegedly when she was arrested in her belongings, there appeared to be a Jeep key. And she was allegedly a corrections officer. So this is her arrest picture. I have another picture, but I don't know if it's up here. Yeah, there. And this is her regular picture. Right there. So going back over to her complaint, like I don't understand what she did to help him. Okay. So, affidavit of complaint. On June 18th of 2025, Brandon Diego Xavier Powell traveled to Lake County, Tennessee with Austin Drummond with the intent of delivering marijuana, tobacco, and an ear piercing kit to an inmate at a local prison. Austin Drummond identified Brandon Powell as the driver of the trail car assisting with this delivery. On June 19th of 2025 at approximately 2:02 a.m., I attempted to stop the vehicle identified by Drummond. Wait a minute. With Austin Drummond. Says I attempted to stop the vehicle identified by Drummond. The vehicle fled at a high rate of speed, during which 6 to 7 objects were thrown from it. Most of these objects were later recovered by law enforcement. The recovery included approximately 1 pound, 11.7 ounces of marijuana, 4 packages of tobacco, a drone case, 5 cell phones, ring, 5 cell phones, an ear piercing kit, and several mesh bags. An extensive investigation has since revealed that Brandon Powell conspired with Austin Drummond and 3 other individuals to deliver contraband into the penal facility in Lake County, Tennessee. Law enforcement surveillance observed the entire process of the events above. So I guess they're arresting them for helping to deliver the stuff to the penal facility, because this is going all the way back to June. But that I attempted to stop the vehicle identified by Drummond tells me he might be snitching. How can someone be attracted to this type of person? The only answer I can come back with is that the other person has to be the same type of person. So just try to hide who they are. I don't know. This is the same thing that I just read. The vehicle fled at a high rate of speed, throwing objects out, an ear-piercing kit, several mesh bags. Interesting. And then this is the first part again. On Tuesday, July 29th, Braden Williams, Courtney Rose, Adriana Williams, and Matthew Wilson were all located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville. On the same date, the daughter of Wilson and Williams was left in front of a residence in Dyer County. Austin Drummond did commit the offense of aggravated kidnapping of Westland Wilson by false imprisonment, which was committed to facilitate the commission of a felony or flight. Austin Drummond did commit the offense of possessing a firearm during commission of a dangerous felony when he possessed a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, being aggravated kidnapping. Austin Drummond is charged with count 3 aggravated kidnapping, count 4 possessing a firearm during commission or attempt to commit a dangerous felony. I further state that on Tuesday, July 29th, Braden, Courtney, Adriana, and Matthew were all found deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that Austin Drummond did with premeditation knowingly and intentionally kill Courtney Rose with the use of a firearm. Austin Drummond did commit the offense of unlawful possession of a weapon. So here they say specifically that the premeditation was killing Courtney Rose. So was Courtney Rose the intended hit? Because if Matthew was the intended hit, it would say Matthew. That one just says specifically Courtney Rose. Again, Austin Drummond did with premeditation knowingly and intentionally kill Courtney Rose with the use of a firearm. That's interesting. Okay. Again, Tuesday 29th. Oh, okay. So it's going to do each one. Did with premeditation, knowingly and intentionally kill Adriana Williams with the use of a firearm. That's Adriana. This is going to be Matthews. Did knowingly and intentionally kill James Wilson with premeditation. And then did premeditation, knowingly and intentionally kill Braden Williams with the use of a firearm. All right. So I guess, again, how she aided and abetted him was all the way back on June 18th of 2025. Again, Brandon Powell traveled to Lake County, Tennessee with Austin with the intent of delivering marijuana, tobacco, and ear-piercing kit to an inmate at the local prison. Austin identified Brandon Powell as the driver of the trail car assisting with the delivery. On June 19th of 2025 at approximately 2:02 a.m., I attempted to stop the vehicle identified by Drummond. Drummond snitched. Austin snitched Brandon out. Austin told them that Brandon was going to be there at 2:02 a.m. delivering an tobacco, marijuana, and an ear piercing kit. Austin snitched him out, told the police And then the police attempted to stop the vehicle identified by Drummond. The vehicle fled at a high rate of speed, during which 6 to 7 objects were thrown from it. Most of the objects were later recovered by law enforcement. The recovery included approximately 1 pound and 11.7 ounces of marijuana, 4 packages of tobacco, a drone case, 5 cell phones, rings, and an ear piercing kit, and several mesh bags. An extensive investigation has since revealed that Brandon Powell conspired with Austin Drummond and 3 other individuals to deliver contraband to the penal facility. So if we go back over here, I think the 3 other individuals are, again, that ones that we have the documents on. The 3 other individuals are Dearrah Sanders, Tanaka Brown, and Giovanni Thomas, because Brandon Powell is the one driving the car. So again, all of these have to do with the delivery of drugs by the drones to the penal facility. Thank you. Hey, Stolen, good to see you. And thank you for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right. Going to the next document. We already looked at this one. This one, what we've talked about, but it says, on or about July 30th, law enforcement officials identified Austin Drummond as the suspect who committed 4 counts of first-degree homicide. The homicide occurred in Lake County, which is located on the Western District of Tennessee. Information obtained during the investigation indicates Austin Drummond possibly fled the state of Tennessee and crossed state line boundaries. He has active warrants based on information developed by investigators. And the TBI and other state and local officers. It's believed that Austin Drummond possibly fled the state of Tennessee, but that's no longer important because he's been arrested and we know that he didn't flee the state of Tennessee. Now we have Tanaka's complaint. Before we get into that, let me show you who Tanaka is. I might be saying his name wrong. I don't know. Lord. All right, there's Tanaka. Y'all forgive me for a minute. I need to grab me a Advil. I got a daggum headache. Pardon me. Hold on just a minute. Okay. I don't know why I've got a headache. All right. So now we're looking at Tanaka Brown. This one right here up in the top left. Oh yeah, actually Hio Sandra Firelight got these documents for me. She's been helping me out quite a bit. And I appreciate that. Okay. So, and I appreciate y'all being here while I go over it. I know, I don't know what's going on, why my head's hurting so damn bad. All right, so this is Tanaka Brown. On Tuesday, July 29th, Braden, Courtney, Adriana, and James were all located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville, Lake County, Tennessee. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that Tanaka J. Brown did knowingly commit the offense of tampering with evidence for altering, destroying, or concealing the availability of evidence in the investigation. Well, that don't tell me shit. On Tuesday, July 29th, Braden, Courtney, Adriana, and James were all located deceased from apparent gunshot wounds on Carrington Road in Tiptonville, Lake County, Tennessee. On July 30th of 2025, Austin was charged with 4 counts of first-degree homicide. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that Tanaka Brown did knowingly commit the offense of accessory after the fact by providing aid to Austin Drummond with the means of avoiding arrest. And that's all we have. So he got a charge of accessory after the fact and then tampering with evidence. But it's not telling me anything else. All right, Y'all, I can't believe Austin Drummond snitched. And it's in that report, and they've got that in jail. So he might have a hit on him. That is insane. All right. So we're at 2:15:48. All right. So our eighth, we're going to talk about Bibb County. Now, this is going to be very triggering. I will provide a quick recap on this in case anybody's here that does not know about this case. I'm going to grab a trigger warning about this. Okay. So this is going to go over who these people are and their charges. There was an eighth person arrested just the other day, and we're going to talk about what she's charged with. This case is very triggering. It's very hard to hear. It's one of the worst cases, if not the worst cases of child trafficking I've ever heard of. So heavy, extreme heavy trigger warning.
We are taking a deeper look into the suspects charged in the child sex abuse case.
Okay,
that's
Tracy.
rocking Bibb County. 7 people are charged with crimes involving children as young as 3, including rape.
Now, if anybody is leaving after I go over her charges, I am going to give you guys an update in Jack and Lilly Sullivan's case. We've got information that tells us what their life was like before they disappeared on May 2nd. So if you want that information, make sure to check back in. Okay, LAX, have a good day. Hey, Simone. Oh, I saw you earlier. All right.
Human trafficking and sexual torture. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson looked into the criminal backgrounds of the suspects, and what she found may surprise you. Gracie?
Brenda, I spent the day digging through court records to learn more about the 7 people now facing several disturbing charges. Shockingly, most of them have no serious criminal history in the state of Alabama prior to the child sex abuse investigation. Authorities in Bibb County say the details of this case are unlike anything they've ever seen. An alleged underground operation involving child sex abuse, human trafficking, and a hidden bunker. 10 children have been identified as victims so far, and 7 adults are behind bars.
The adults were drugging the children, so there could be way more than that just don't remember yet.
Some of the victims, the offenders, were their parents and different relatives and things like that.
I spent the day digging through court and criminal records, trying to learn more about who these suspects are. Most of them had no serious criminal history in Alabama, most only facing minor traffic violations until now. Rebecca Brewer is charged with 8 counts of human trafficking and kidnapping and 3 counts of sexual torture, but I found no prior criminal record. William McElroy, Dalton Terrell, and Andres Trejo Velazquez are each charged with multiple counts of rape, sodomy, human trafficking, and kidnapping, also with no known serious prior state charges. Ricky Terrell is charged with rape and previously faced drug-related offenses and possession of contraband. Sarah Terrell now faces charges of sexual torture and 2 counts of sexual abuse of a child less than 12 years old. I found 1 previous charge for hindering prosecution.
The children were ages 3 to 15. Their parents, some of the people that are charged in this were the children's parents. It's a horrendous case.
Timothy St. John had the longest rap sheet, including theft and criminal trespassing, criminal mischief, burglary, and other drug-related charges. All 7 suspects remain in custody at the Bibb County Jail, awaiting future court proceedings in connection to the Bibb County child sex abuse investigation. The defense team for one of these.
So the other day, there was an 8th person arrested. Hold on. Okay, our 8th person arrested was Oliva Elam. And it reads, an eighth person has been arrested in connection to the ongoing Bibb County bunker investigation. According to Bibb County Circuit Court documents, 26-year-old Oliva Elam faces a 34-count indictment. And there's her photo. There is a connection between her and Timothy St. John, the one that has the bestiality and animal cruelty charges. And if you want to know more about that, I speak about it in this video from a day ago where I said, and then there were 8. I go over all of the court documents, except at the time I did not have Olivia's. Now I have Olivia's. So we're going to talk about what she's charged with. Yeah, this is going to be really hard to hear. So again, protect your peace. Okay. So Oliva Elam, whose name is to the grand jury otherwise unknown, and or accomplice being 16 years of age or older, she's a grown-ass woman, engaged in sexual intercourse with another person, to wit, the victim who was born in 2015, who is less than 12 years old, in violation of the peace and dignity of the state of Alabama. So that's count 1. It's GJ presentation. All of those counts are the same. Count 4 is going to be again the same. Looks like so far all of them are the same. Nope. So it's going to be the victim who was born in 2015, the victim who was born in 2017, victim born in 2018, victim born in 2021. How do you have sexual intercourse with a fucking 3-year-old? Can somebody please tell me that? This bitch right here touched a fucking 3-year-old. She fucking touched a fucking 3-year-old. Hold on. 2015, 2021, the victim born in 2015, 2017. These are sodomy. So it's 5 counts of sexual intercourse with the children, and then it goes into sodomy with the children. Sodomy, 2020, victim born in 2020, 2018, sodomy, 2021, sodomy, 2015, sodomy, 2019. Okay. Did knowingly obtain, recruit, entice, solicit, induce, threaten, isolate, harbor, hold, restrain, transport, provide, or maintain a minor, to wit, victim born in 2015 under the age of 18 years old for the purpose of causing a minor, victim born in 2015 under the age of 18 to engage in sexual servitude. Sexual servitude involving the victim born in 2017. Sexual servitude involving the victim born in 2019, the victim born in 2020, 2018, 2021. These are all the sexual servitudes. 2015, 2019, 2017. Again, sexual servitude. Okay. She did knowingly and willfully abduct the victim born in 2019 with the intent to inflict physical injury upon the victim or violate, abuse the victim born in 2019 sexually. And again, that was the victim born in 2019. This is the victim born in 2015. She did the same thing. Intent to inflict physical injury upon the victim or violate or abuse sexually. The victim born in 2017, the victim born in 2019, the victim born in 2020, all the same. Willfully abduct with the intent to inflict physical injury or violate or abuse sexually. Victim born in 2018, victim born in 2021. I mean, it's a fucking 3-year-old with the intent to inflict physical injury upon or violate or abuse sexually. Okay. Good God. Oliva Elam, a responsible person having permanent or temporary care of custody or responsibility for the supervision. God almighty, it was her child. Victim born in 2015, a child under the age of 18 did willfully torture, willfully abuse, cruelly beat, or otherwise willfully mistreat said child by severely beating said child. Said abuse having taken place on more than one occasion in violation of Alabama code. All right, here we go. Oliva Elam did penetrate the front butt of the victim born in 2015 with an inanimate object with the intent to torture or sexually abuse him or her. Here's the counts. She's got 5 counts of rape in the first degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 counts of sodomy in the first degree. 9 counts of human trafficking in the first degree, sexual servitude. And then 9 counts of kidnapping in the first degree, 1 count of child abuse, aggravated child abuse, and 1 count of sexual torture, child less than 12 years old. She got no bond. I agree, occasionally classy. That was her child. I'm assuming, or an adopted. Somehow it was a child that she had permanent custody of right here. Having permanent or temporary care or custody or responsibility for the supervision of the victim born in 2015, a child under the age of 18 years old did willfully torture, willfully abuse, cruelly beat, or otherwise willfully mistreat said child by severely beating said child. And that happened on more than one occasion. I'm not reading that other one again. It's just absolutely disgusting. I'm so sorry, Stolen. They are. There is no possible defense for them. And Alabama's law enforcement or politicians are pushing for the death penalty in this case. I'll actually play that because that'll make us feel maybe a little bit better. Let me grab it from my video. Something to make us feel a little bit better after enduring all of that. Now, I put chapters in here, I do believe. Did I not put chapters in here? Lord have mercy. I thought I did. I have to add them later. All right, so something to make us feel a little bit better about it. Here we go. Specifically, will give us a little bit of breath of fresh air after reading that document.
State lawmakers want people convicted of sexually assaulting children to face the death penalty. That was the focus in Montgomery today. The move allows the shocking discovery of a child sex trafficking ring in Bibb County, where at least 10 victims were abused in an underground storm shelter. 7 people have been arrested so far, with more charges expected.
Now 8 people have been arrested. Blue Jay said, poor little ones, I hope they get all the help they need to heal from the horrific horrors they endured, and I pray they get through this. Hey, Lola, it's horrible. What's sad is the way they found out is that one of the victims remembered and told CPS because they were in regular school. They had been going to school for 2 years and they were drugged, so they didn't remember these things. Well, one of them started to remember and told somebody. CPS got involved, and that's how we found all this out. The victims are speaking and they do remember some things, and like, part of me is like, thank God the child started to remember something, because now all of the abuse is going to stop, and the other children were saved. But the other part of me is like, would it have been better if that child had never remembered anything? Like, I wish we could have gotten these motherfuckers under the jail without the children necessarily remembering anything.
BTM 13 Zoe Blair was at the State House today as lawmakers and law enforcement
This is Alabama.
announced a plan to introduce a bill in the next legislative session.
It is one of the worst offenses. It deserves the worst of the worst punishments.
That punishment, the death penalty for those convicted of sexually abusing a child under the age of 12.
Can we please get that expedited?
Legislation will be sponsored by State Representative Matt Simpson and Senator April Weaver during the next legislative session. This comes after a child sex trafficking ring was uncovered in Bibb County last week, the district Weaver serves.
Most people assume that it couldn't happen in their backyard, but it's
That one right there is the one we just read the charges for, that's covering her face.
someone who has deep roots in Bibb County and someone who represents Bibb County in the Alabama Senate. I just want you to know that these events have hit really, really close to home.
If passed, they face an uphill battle enforcing the bill. A 2008 Supreme Court ruling says the death penalty can only be imposed on people convicted for loss of life. Despite that, Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall says his office will fight for this bill.
We'll make sure that we are defending this law, as we've done many others that the legislature has passed, to be able to send a clear message about not only the intent of the legislature in protecting kids, but the public policy in our state is how we hold those who hurt our children accountable.
And we need to pause for a second and think about, number one, there's 10 victims ages 3 to 15. This had been going on for 2 years at least. They were drugged. They were taken down to this bunker, tied up, tortured. I mean, you just heard about the torture to an extent, and that's just one of these animals that I've gone through, and there's 7. I think, if anything warranted the death penalty, this does. These children are going to have a lifetime uphill battle trying to deal with the trauma, trying to remember everything that's cloudy. This had been going on for years. Absolutely disgusting. These animals need to be taken out back, in my opinion. Old Yeller style.
Bibb County Sheriff Jody Wade's office is leading the investigation into the crimes committed in Bibb County. He's grateful to see the lawmakers working to make a change, and he hopes the idea of execution is enough to keep people from sexually abusing kids in the future.
When you enhance the DUI penalties, a lot of people decided, well, I'm not driving drunk because I don't want to do this. I got CDLs, I'm not going to do this. So I think any kind of punishment is absolutely a deterrent, but it's good to have it there when it does not deter people.
And if it passes, state leaders hope it's a law they'd never have the opportunity to enforce.
Amen. Can we please just have people stop abusing children? That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, it's not the world we live in.
We hope that nobody is subject to this penalty, because that means that no one will have hurt a child in this way.
Both lawmakers say they have a lot of support for this proposed legislation in both the House and the Senate, and they expect this bill to pass very quickly during the next legislative session.
Okay. So thank God that they're trying to pass that bill to automatic death penalties on the table for anybody who abuses a child less than 12 years of age. Tom said to the men, whack off their members. But, and yeah, I think that would be a fantastic idea. The women are the ones that are accused of using inanimate objects on the children and shock collars and things. So it's just like the women appear to have done worse in this disgusting display of fucking atrocity. Hey, Kat, absolutely disgusting. No one in the entire family would speak up for these kids, stand up and do the right thing. Yeah. Yep. Like, I don't even know what to say. All right, so 2:35. Before we go, I do have an article that I got today on Jack and Lilly Sullivan, and it claims to give us an idea of what their life was like before they disappeared. Hey, Carolina. So let's pull that up. So this is from the Globe and Mail. It says a picture emerges of missing children's lives, but not their fate. Months later, there are still few answers about what happened to Jack and Lilly Sullivan of Nova Scotia, but trauma and stigma have left their families and community further apart. I wish we knew what happened to them. Fortunately, it's their job and they have to, no matter how much they don't like it. Oh, yeah, I agree. That's awesome, Stolen. I'm glad it made you who you are, but I'm sorry you had to go through that. It says, at her home in I'm not even going to try to say that, Nova Scotia, Lilly and Jack Sullivan's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, keeps a photo of their first day of school in September of 2024. The children were reported missing to police on the morning of May 2nd. Okay. Hold on. I got to log in. Hold just a minute, y'all. I got to log in because I pay for the Globe and Mail for this case. All right, there it is. The Globe and Mail don't let you look at their stuff unless you pay for it. All right, so it says, oh, we can listen to it. Let's listen to it. Lord of mercy, it's 24 minutes. Oh. We'll listen to it and I'll scroll so we can hear the pictures. Yeah, it has been way too long. All right. Okay.
Months after Nova Scotia children vanished, a clearer picture emerges of their lives before their disappearance. By Lindsay Jones and Greg Mercer. Article has been corrected. Deep in the middle of Nova Scotia, far from its quaint coastal towns, sits Lansdowne, a hamlet of around 100 people in a cellular dead zone. It's surrounded by endless spruce forests, bushes like razor wire and bogs that breed swarms of black flies. Like many faded settlements across the Maritimes, Lansdowne reached its peak more than a century ago. About 150 kilometers northeast of Halifax, it was once a busy railway stop bustling with Scottish immigrants who dug iron and copper mines deep into the hillsides. Today, those mine shafts are abandoned. One lone train a day cuts through the community with a melancholic blare. Most of the people here live a quiet rural existence in secluded homes scattered along backcountry roads that only the locals know, where chickens and large dogs roam free, and the rusted skeletons of old vehicles sit marooned in the dirt. Much like American Appalachia.
We were wondering about that train. So the train comes through about once a day, and I'm wondering if somebody got on that train and stole the children and like took them off on the train or something.
This once prosperous corner of Pictou County is now economically stagnant. 1 in 5 children live in poverty, higher than most other counties in the province. It's here where the lives of Lilly and Jack Sullivan were implanted 2 years ago, to a rundown trailer set back from Highway 289 with their pregnant mother and stepfather. They needed a place to live, and their step-grandmother, who owned the home, welcomed them to live with her. Life for Lilly, 6, and Jack, 4, inside the cluttered trailer in Lansdowne was chaotic. There were holes in the floor of the front stoop, tarps to protect the underside of the trailer from the elements, and so much racket from the lively children that their step-grandmother soon retreated to a camper in the driveway. Their stepfather, Daniel Martel, 34, with pale eyes and ropey arms, worked at the local hardwood mill. Their mother Malachi Brooks Murray, 27, a member of Sipinicottic First Nation with chin-length dark hair, stayed home with their baby Meadow. Inside the mobile home, a large wood stove filled up most of the living room. The kids' artwork was pasted to the kitchen wall, next to the sliding patio door that led to a yard where they spent hours playing next to the chicken coop. Lilly chattered away to her dolls and stuffed animals. Jack turned over rocks and pieces of wood in search of bugs and worms. Outside the fenced backyard, and up over a steep embankment. The children sometimes played in a small fort nestled beneath boughs of spruce. It was like their own little dream world. Most days Jack and Lily hopped on the bus to attend Salt Springs Elementary, a rural school about a 20-minute ride from their home. Jack, smaller than his peers, was strapped in at the front of the bus, next to his sister. The morning the children were reported missing, the big yellow school bus rolled past the mobile home without stopping for a second day in a row. Jack and Lily were usually standing by the side of the road, waiting to be picked up. But earlier that morning of May 2nd, their mother had marked them absent from school at about 6:15 a.m. Both parents have said it was because Lily had a cough. They
No, Nana Rocks, good to see you, said the train has no close stops that I've heard of and goes by fast. I heard the train slowed while in the search area so as not to surprise the searchers. Thank you for that. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that. It's good to see you. I've been watching tarot YouTubers who are following this case, and they all come up very close to the same kind of speculation as to what happened. I pray for these two babies every day. Sad.
say they heard the children playing in the next room while they dozed in the bedroom with their toddler. Daniel has said he saw Lily pop in and out a few times. At about 9:40 a.m., the couple says, they awoke and realized the kids were gone. They were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew it was quiet, she told CTV Atlantic. We get up and I tell my partner Daniel, do you hear the kids? And he says no. Instantly we are looking outside. We are looking everywhere, yelling for them. Jack and Lily's mysterious disappearance has baffled the country. More than 3 months after they were reported missing, after one of the largest searches in Nova Scotia's history and an intensive police investigation, police still haven't confirmed the circumstances of how the young siblings went missing. It's possible that there were clues, even potential warning signs, in their home life. A closer look into the lives of Jack and Lily shows that all was not well in the trailer in Lansdowne. That morning, Jack's blue dinosaur boots were gone. So were Lily's pink rubber boots and her white backpack with strawberries. The only clue left behind, according to the parents, was one child-sized boot print in the dirt driveway, a few meters from the home. Malachi called 911 at about 10 a.m. Daniel said he jumped in her white SUV and left to check nearby dirt roads, culverts and streams. Soon an army of search and rescue volunteers arrived wearing orange hunting vests. They fanned out, conducting a grid search in the swamp and thick woods around the home. Drones and a helicopter scoured overhead. A police dog, on a leash with a handler, set about the yard. Police combed every inch of the property. They rummaged through the mobile home, reached inside a hamster cage, tore apart a brush pile, unzipped the suitcase lying in the middle of the yard. They opened the top of the dryer at the end of the driveway and peered in the chicken hut. They searched the camper van where Daniel's mother Janie McKenzie lives 3 times. That morning, Malachi messaged the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray. I never thought they would run off on me like that. She wrote, I'm so distraught. Hours later, and still no sign of the children, Malachi floated the idea that Jack and Lily were abducted. Many are suspecting they were picked up by somebody, she texted Belinda, because there is no trace of them or Lily's backpack. Daniel, meanwhile, was tearing through the woods on foot and wading in streams, telling people he was moving faster than the police helicopters. That day, carloads of family members pulled up to help search. In the mid-afternoon, a non-encrypted radio channel crackled with voices of emergency responders. Families brought us to a location there, not far away, that there's a piece of a blanket which the mother says she believes belongs to her daughter, radioed an official. Emergency responders dispatched a canine unit to the site, where they seized Lily's pink blanket, torn and wound around the lower branches of a spruce. It was about 1 kilometer from the mobile home, off the gravel Lansdowne Road where Daniel's father and uncles live. The road runs deep into the backcountry, connecting with dirt roads that snake further into the wilderness to remote lakes, backwoods dumps and clear-cut tracts of land. When a police officer asked Daniel about the pink blanket, he said it wasn't Lily's, at first. Police began pounding on doors into the early hours of the next morning. They came to the door of Daniel's father, Earl Martell, a retired tire plant worker who lives atop a hill in a bungalow he built himself 40 years ago. Officers peered with flashlights into the corners of his living room, jumbled with the craft supplies and Hot Wheels of Daniel's 2 school-aged biological children, who often visit on weekends. Earl guided police into the yard, to old campers and a derelict log cabin filled with junk, and to Daniel's older model black sedan, in need of repairs he couldn't afford. Police also banged on the door of the home of Belinda in Middle Musquodoboit, about half an hour from Lansdowne.
So we've not been able to see pictures of his dad's property. That's interesting. I'll have to do a video on this. All right, let's continue.
They were looking to talk to her son, who had been living there for the last 9 months after losing his roofing job. But Cody Sullivan hadn't seen Jack and Lilly since he and Malachi separated 3 years ago. He'd cut ties after she filed for full custody of the children. Over the coming days, police returned twice more to interrogate him and take photos of vehicles. Through the night, search and rescue volunteers combed the woods, and helicopters and drones that can detect body heat scanned overhead. Malachi was up too, texting with Belinda. "I have reason to believe they may have been taken by someone," she wrote. "They should have found them by now if they were in the woods." The next morning, Belinda set out to help search for her grandchildren. As she drove toward the trailer on Highway 289, past the trail of orange traffic cones, it hit her where she was headed. Over the last 2 years, Malachi had distanced herself from Belinda. She stopped bringing the children to visit, later explaining that Daniel was jealous and didn't want her going there or giving out the address. The grandmother said she had never been invited to the house. Until she showed up to help in the search, Belinda didn't know this was the home her grandchildren were living in, a home that she'd noticed multiple times on her way while driving to Halifax. Wow, she says she thought, as she stepped inside to speak to Malachi. Everything she saw, from the junk-strewn yard to the cluttered kitchen, was the total opposite of the neat and tidy woman she used to know. Even though she'd heard it once before, she needed to hear it again. "What happened?" she asked. Malachi opened the low, rumbling sliding patio door in the kitchen, demonstrating how she assumed the children quietly left the home while she and Daniel were sleeping. "Well, Malachi," Belinda recalled saying, "you're the mom. You know these kids better than anybody. So where do you feel they'd go? What would take their interest? What direction would they go?" She had no idea. That day, as search and rescue teams tramped through the woods, rolling ankles and plucking ticks from their skin, Malachi stood on the side of the highway in front of a local television camera. "It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today I'm hopeful they're feeling warm," she said, swallowing back tears. "We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them." She also took to Facebook, pleading for police to issue an Amber Alert, a national public alert to help locate abducted children. "I want my babies home. My children are not shy to strangers and will go with anyone. They don't understand stranger danger," she wrote on May 3rd. Daniel also pushed for such an alert, telling the Globe that abduction is a possibility, something he said he tried to raise early on with police, but he said they looked at him like he was crazy.
I think they were
Perhaps
abducted.
it's because the home is so remote, where few travel or have reason to pass by. Also, Nova Scotia police require specific criteria to activate an Amber Alert, including a description of the child, abductor or vehicle, and reasonable grounds to believe an abduction has occurred. In this case, RCMP have repeatedly said they have no such evidence. "I asked them to go to every airport, all the airports, and intake for different provinces, pay in New Brunswick," Daniel said, breaking down crying. "They will go with anybody. Because they're undiagnosed autistic, they will go with anybody. As long as you offer them food or water, say I'll take you home to mom or dad, and they'll immediately get with them." It was late afternoon that Saturday when Daniel and Malachi's relatives began to turn on each other. In the dooryard of the trailer, a discussion about meth use in the home led one of Malachi's family members to hurl an accusation that Daniel must have something to do with the children's disappearance. The charge ignited a blaze of angry words. Eventually, Daniel's mother Janie ordered some of Malachi's family members off her property. Just up the road, Daniel and Malachi waited at the search and rescue headquarters for an update from police. It was around supper time when officers pointed out on maps where searchers had been.
I think so.
Suddenly,
I agree.
Malachi said she wasn't feeling well. She walked out with Meadow on her hip. In the back of an ambulance, Malachi sobbed uncontrollably, her mother, registered nurse Cindy Murray, at her side. Daniel pleaded with Malachi to speak to her alone, but her mother stepped in front of him. "Cindy, get the fuck out of here," Daniel recalled saying. The women hustled to Cindy's car, strapped in Meadow, and sped off down the dirt road. "I love you," Daniel called out to his child through the rolled-up back window. It was the last time the couple was together. After that, Malachi blocked Daniel from contacting her and later changed her Facebook status to single. Belinda emerged from the woods just before dark. It had been 36 hours since the children had disappeared, and she was considering sleeping in her car to begin searching again at first light. But then she learned Malachi had left Lansdowne, something that has troubled her ever since. If she could leave, Belinda said, her chin quivering in sorrow, then it meant she knew her kids weren't coming back. Daniel was also upset that Malahia left. "I've been the only one there for them," he sobbed in an interview. "She can't control them. Only I can. They act out whenever she's there. She always gets me to calm them down, or get them to stop fighting, or feed them, or get them up, and put them to bed every night. She was asking me to do everything. It just breaks my heart not to ever see everybody." The day before the children were reported missing, the Mounties say the children were observed in public with family members. It was the last time they were seen by anyone outside the home. Daniel has said in an interview that the evening before the kids disappeared, everyone was home. He said he spent the evening working on the fence in the backyard. "It was a night just like any other for the young children," he added, though he couldn't remember what time they went to bed. There is, however, at least one account of strange activity at the mobile home that night. RCMP spokesperson Corporal Carly McCann confirmed that police received a tip on May 8 from someone who described hearing a vehicle come and go from the mobile home throughout the night before the children were reported missing. Investigators are continuing to review and assess more than 600 tips from the public and follow up on over 800 tasks, she wrote in an email. A neighbor who spoke to the Globe said they reported this information on May 8. The neighbor said they were working on a vehicle in their own yard when they heard the same loud, 5-speed car come and go from the trailer about 6 times, from midnight to 5 a.m. After the children's disappearance, the neighbor considered it important information and reported it to police. The Globe agreed not to name the neighbor because of concerns for their safety in the community. For the next 5 days, search and rescue teams poured over the area. On the 6th day of the children's disappearance, police announced they were scaling back. It was unlikely, they said, that the children were still alive. In the following weeks, searchers returned twice more. They zeroed in around the home and the natural gas pipeline, a clear-cut trail of land that runs through the countryside, where a possible child-sized boot print was found. Lily's blanket was also nearby. Police divers scoured lakes. They drained the septic tank of the mobile home and inspected 4 abandoned mine shafts in Lansdowne, a search that's eerily familiar for locals. In 2002, amateur mineral explorers discovered the remains of a man who had disappeared 19 years earlier in one of these old copper mines.
Oh, wow.
39-year-old Alex Penny's car was found abandoned on a dirt road in Lansdowne, months after his mysterious disappearance. It's a chilling homicide that has never been solved, one that rattles around in the collective memories of the people who live here. Police have said they plan to search more of these old mine shafts for the children. A provincial database shows 5 within several kilometers of the mobile home. Dozens more pepper the backwoods and rural highways of Pictou County. Police have described the case as highly unusual. Most missing persons cases are resolved shortly after they're reported to police, but the disappearance of Jack and Lilly has become a complex and intensive major crime investigation involving a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work, said RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon in an update last month. The Nova Scotia government offered a $150,000 reward for information. So far, the Mounties say they've drawn on units from other provinces, interrogated dozens of people, sought 10 judicial authorizations to seize records or search warrants, administered polygraph tests, took possession of electronic devices, viewed thousands of video files, and are awaiting forensic tests on items found during the search, including Lily's pink blanket. Daniel initially told police and the Globe on May 5 that the pink blanket found in the woods did not belong to Lily, but he later changed his story. In a subsequent interview, he suggested the blanket was planted, taken from his week-old garbage. He also claimed 2 of his sweaters mysteriously disappeared from his home after the kids went missing. He declined to elaborate further. Behind the scenes, people's concern for the children's welfare had already raised red flags. A child protection supervisor in the nearby town of New Glasgow rushed to prepare a memo for Deputy Minister Craig Beaton about Jack and Lily on the day the children disappeared, according to redacted briefing notes obtained by the Globe through Freedom of Information legislation. 2 weeks later, in mid-May, another memo about the children was prepared for senior staff in the province's Child Welfare Department. Opportunities and Social Development Minister Scott Armstrong, who also told the Globe he asked for more information about his department's interaction with the children, has so far declined to discuss how the government responded to concerns about Jack and Lily's well-being prior to their disappearance. What is known about Jack and Lily's interaction with child welfare authorities is that a social worker came to the trailer over concerns raised by the school several months before their disappearance to assess their home life. Teachers and other professionals who work with children have a legal duty to report if they have reasonable grounds to suspect a child has, may have, is, or is about to suffer abuse, and home visits occur when there's reason to be concerned about a child's safety and care. Daniel, however, told the Globe the visit was related to the kids' learning difficulties at school. He said the children were suspected of having autism and were scheduled to see a doctor the same month they vanished. He declined to answer further questions about the involvement of child protection staff in the kids' lives. From the outside, there were signs that children's home life was strained. They were developmentally behind other children, and arrived at school grubby and without appropriate winter clothing, prompting staff to provide it for them, according to a school board employee with direct knowledge. The Globe is not identifying the source because they're not authorized to disclose details about students. Last December, Jack came to school with a black eye, according to a photo of him posted by his elementary school.
Oh my
The photo of the
God.
class trip on December 13, 2024, 5 months before he and his sister disappeared, shows him sitting next to other students in the forest with a green and purple bruise below his left eye.
Oh my God.
Another photo shows a possible black eye and bruising on Jack's face in a photo taken in September 2024, an injury that Daniel defended on social media, saying it was caused by Lilly. Daniel did not respond to questions asking how Jack received the black eye in December, but in private Facebook messages that were shared with the Globe he acknowledged Jack had many black eyes. One time, Lilly punched him in the face, he wrote. He also said Lilly had a black eye when the children went missing, from an incident with a Tanaka truck that occurred on May 1st, the day before the children disappeared.
What?
She pushed down on the truck and it swung up and hit in the face. The family was under pressure. A confluence of financial woes left the couple turning to relatives for help. Like many lower-tier workers at the mill, Daniel had been cut back to 1 shift a week during the spring thaw, because of an annual ban on heavy logging trucks on soggy local roads. His car, off the road because it needed repairs he couldn't afford, wasn't drivable, and he had to rely on his uncle who also worked at the mill, to take him to work, or Malahia, whose maternal grandmother had recently helped her buy a white Nissan SUV. Daniel's father Earl said he bought the couple groceries and gas, and provided firewood to heat their home.
Wow.
Daniel, however, denied having money problems, and had claimed to friends that he was getting into investing and turning his life around after a divorce.
Right.
Other means of cash flow had also been cut off. In recent months, child support payments from Jack and Lilly's biological father had stopped after he lost his job. Malahia's monthly Canada Child Benefit Check, or baby bonus, which under federal guidelines would be about $1,900 per month, was halted because Daniel hadn't filed his taxes, which were due by April 30th. The struggles didn't end there. Malahia described Daniel as controlling and said she had wanted out, writing in a message to Belinda on June 15 that I never wanted to stay there. Belinda wrote back, saying she wished Malahia would have reached out. We would have done what we could to help. I know, Malahia responded. My mom is saying the same thing. Cindy, Malahia's mother, declined to be interviewed. After the children's disappearance, Malahia also confided in her paternal grandmother, Connie Brooks, a member of Sippinicotic First Nation. She described how Daniel would hold her down and take her phone. He was having her, I don't know what you call it, scared. She couldn't go anywhere, do anything, Connie said. That's what she told me and that's what I told the detectives. When she asked her granddaughter about drug use in the home, she said Malahia told her that Daniel concealed a drug addiction for nearly the first year of their relationship. Daniel did not respond to questions about these allegations, but he has insisted in interviews with the Globe that he's never struggled with drugs and does not have a drug problem. Despite that, he is admitted to taking methamphetamines and pretty much everything. He said he recently started attending Narcotics Anonymous 3 times a week, and is taking online courses in anger management, depression, parenting, child protection, substance abuse, suicide and violent behavior that are recognized by child protection officials. I have to clear my name for CPS, he said. It's best to do that.
Wow.
Without answers, theories abound. For
Jesus.
some, maybe they're a way to hold out hope,
He has
or
to
shift
do it to get
attention
Meadow
elsewhere.
back.
There are those who believe the children are still alive, taken or hidden somewhere. One such rumor circulating in social media group chats is that Lilly and Jack were taken by one of Malahia's relatives and are being held on a reserve. The rumor prompted Sippinicotic chief Michelle Glasgow to respond on social media. That whole dialogue was made up by a racist fool and anyone entertaining it is a racist fool, she wrote in a text message that she posted to Facebook on July 10th. The vacuum of information about the missing kids has stoked a voracious demand for clues and conjecture, on social media and in the online true crime community. One of the most popular online sources in the true crime amateur community is It's a Criming Shame, a Vancouver-based YouTube channel, which has morphed into exclusively discussing the case. Its live streams about Jack and Lilly have been viewed 500,000 times. For several hours multiple times a week, host Sunny Austin invites guests on the show to discuss the case and rants provocatively, calling out those who she disbelieves, in the case of Jack and Lilly. Daniel frequently pops up in her live chats like a whack-a-mole, she says. Belinda has also called in as a guest. Most recently, she presented text messages with Malahia, who when reached by phone, refused to verify whether the text messages were hers.
Wow.
Malahia has also repeatedly declined to be interviewed by the Globe, saying police advised her not to
Y'all,
speak to the media.
this is
She said she has put her
crazy.
faith 100% in the authorities to find Lily and Jack. On the ground, the high-profile case has also conjured up other drama. Recently, a local online content creator arrived at the home of Malahia's mother Cindy under the auspices of buying a horse trailer. The man surreptitiously recorded a 45-minute interaction with her partner, Wade Paris, discussing the missing children and posted the video online. In interviews with the Globe, Daniel has said he had nothing to do with the children's disappearance, and he said he has passed a polygraph test with police to prove it. He lamented the stigma the case carries over into his everyday life. He's on stress leave from the mill. People stare or give him dirty looks whenever he goes out in public. Recently, at a used car dealership, he said a salesman snatched a vehicle key from his hand and walked away when he realized he was talking to Lily and Jack's stepfather. His Facebook is filled with direct messages from strangers calling him a child killer. Where are the bodies? He said they ask every day.
Oh my
But then a
God.
profile that the Globe has previously communicated with Daniel on also appears in Facebook chat groups frequently, offering up riddles and conjecture that the children were taken by someone they know and are being held prisoner. As long as I remain the target, the sick person or persons that have the kids may relax and make a mistake. RCMP better capitalize on that, the user wrote this week. His mother Janie has said she also
Oh my
believes the children
God.
are still alive, because she says they have never gone into the woods by themselves or wandered off. A self-described hermit, it took her more than 2 months to speak publicly, doing an interview for CBC and releasing voice memos in a public social media chat. She said she heard the children playing in the backyard from inside her camper on the morning they disappeared, and she too believes someone took them. In Malahia's Micmac community of Sippinicotic, her father Henry Brooks is hopeful his grandchildren will be found. He says the last time he spoke with the children, Jack told him he loved him. It's weighing heavy on me, he said. Really heavy. At her home in Middle Musquodoboit, Belinda spends her days alternately tending her sprawling back garden and advocating for her missing grandchildren. She appears on YouTube live streams and in social media chats, picking up breadcrumbs along the way that she hopes will lead to Jack and Lily. In her blue and white kitchen, where Jack once crawled across the laminate floor, and Lily hammed it up in her gardening hats and old eyeglasses, she is resigned to a grim reality. I think somebody there must know what happened, she said about the mobile home in Lansdowne. I don't believe my grandchildren are alive, but to not get answers, it's like no, there's answers out there. 2 kids don't just disappear in the morning and nobody knows nothing. So, if they don't find answers outside that home, then the answers are inside that home. In hindsight, she says she wishes she would have pushed harder to see the kids, to see Lily on her birthday in March. Looking at photos of the children from the past 2 years, she noticed they looked thin, possibly malnourished with dry, cracked lips, something she says she might have picked up on had she seen them in person, and it makes her wonder about the other adults in their lives. She recently learned others had concerns about the children's safety in the home. She also wants to know what child protection social workers knew prior to Jack and Lily's disappearance, whether they suspected the children were abused and what was being done about it. I hate to say it, but every one of us failed them, Belinda said. We all failed these kids. Editor's note. A previous version of this article incorrectly stated that Lansdowne is northwest of Halifax. It is northeast of Halifax.
Wow. Y'all, this is insane. I'm going to do a video on this and we're going to have to break it down and talk about it. Yeah, I don't think that any indigenous communities would be hiding children for absolutely like no reason. That's just stupid and no. I don't know either. I've got to go do some things, so I'm going to be I'm going to go for the day, but I want to tell y'all thank you for being here and thank you for your support. Right. I don't think that they would play or risk any kind of getting involved with the law for what? Like I've said from the beginning, those were not Daniel's children. If Meadow was missing, maybe I could believe it more that she like took Meadow under the cover of night and went and hid her in the reservation. But Jack and Lily didn't belong to Daniel, so there's no reason for her to feel like she had to take them and leave when she could just literally take them and leave. Like he has no parental authority over them 2 children. You know what I mean? Right, Kimmy. I think they need to check the mine chefs too. You think all the adults are lying? There would be absolutely no reason to take 2 children at once. RCMP spoke to potential pedophiles in the immediate area. Thank you, Cindy. All right, y'all. Yeah, I'm going to go. I've got to go do some things, but I want to tell y'all thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out. We will be back tomorrow and we will talk about this among other things because I want to get your input on this and about the things specifically that are said. And we'll talk about some other things as well. If nobody has told you, you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you again. Bye.